Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Got a great show today, folks. We're going to take it to the penultimate beginning. Is that a good way to put it? It's the place where everyone wants to go with a true crime show. There's one subject that everyone wants to cover, and today we're covering. There's one serial killer out there when you say true crime that everyone wants to go to, and it's Charles Manson and the Manson family. You know, they say eventually, with enough time passing, the villain becomes the hero. Not in this case, and not in this story. My guest today is a good friend of the show. Alan R. Warren is our guest today, and he has written not one but two books that we're going to cover today. This first one is right here. I have it right here in my grubby little paw. It is the House of Mystery radio show presents The Interviews, Book 8. This is the companion piece that I want you guys to pick up. I believe this book is incredibly important because it's got some of the interviews from over time that Alan's done with some of the players involved and some of the people who have interviewed some of the players involved in the Manson family murders and surrounding the Manson family murders. But the one book that has come out that Alan has really done an amazing job with, and probably the piece of a lifetime for Alan. I think it really is his crowning achievement is right here, and I have it in my hand right here. It is Peace, Love, and Murder, the Charles Manson Story. We have a link to both these books in the description of this program. Again, House of Murder Radio. We have a link to that, and House of Murder podcast. We have a link to that as well. Alan, I'm going to skip the introduction here to you, and I'm just going to bring you in, and we'll give them the bio in the description of the program. I think people know you by now, and having been a regular on the show, I want to jump into this right away, and I want to bring up the idea that eventually, with enough time, the villain becomes the hero, and that time doesn't just heal all wounds, but it also skews our view. How difficult was it when you sat down to write this wonderful book? To say, you know what, and scream from the rooftop, this man is not a hero.
Well, I guess the best way of saying that is that that's a natural occurrence, right? Because people just do that, with everything, the war, everything. And as time goes by and generations pass, there's less feeling involved. So it's easier to do that. Why someone like this would become a hero or someone to look up to is still confusing, but it's happened a lot before. What I tried to do actually was write the timepiece, 65 to 70, and think about that era. And he was just one person that was in that era. And he could have never done what he did at any other time or any other place in history. So that's why it's important. So I try to look at it from that point of view and not directly at Manson himself. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of like I'm looking at a whole section of time, a place, and an occurrence. And this guy's his life is through those years and the things that he did. And not so much why he did it, because I couldn't really tell you. Mm-hmm. But you can certainly tell how he got away with it without too much trouble. And the whole occurrence. So I'm kind of looking at it from a timepiece more than Charles Manson himself. So then I don't have as much an opinion that way.
Well, I love the fact that you do set the scene brilliantly. You take it from different points of view. You dive deep into every single person that's involved, not only victim but perpetrator or criminal in this case. And you cover everyone thoroughly in both books and talk about the case, and you do a deep dive, and you tell people and put people in that scene so they realize the weight that's behind this case. Because I think with time, people realize that Manson just isn't the man behind bars who espoused nonsense or got in front of a camera and then tried to become a philosopher and tried to put a mirror on society, or eventually made, much like 1,000 monkeys at a typewriter, eventually made a sentence that made sense to us, or he never did type out Shakespeare, by the way. No. But there's a small sliver of humanity that seems to think that Manson had nothing to do with this, that he just, for some reason, he walked around Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys, was just trying to get a music contract, and everyone just committed crimes around him, and he just happened to be a bystander. Which to me is like saying, well, yeah, we just happened to drop a bomb on Hiroshima. It fell out of a plane. That's not what happened.
No. Well, that's sort of why I had to put a lot of info for each of the members in his family and organization, or whatever you want to call it, as well as the victims. I think people had to understand that. And also I went back to things that happened before. One of the things I found really kind of unusual was most of the Manson books and coverage, like Helter Skelter even and stuff, they didn't really focus in, or they didn't talk about other things. So if you tuned into Helter Skelter, or you got into that trip there, as they'd say, you would think of Manson and his family, and you could sort of see the Helter Skelter thing and think, well, maybe they were all just doing it for love for him and all that. You could do that because you wouldn't know enough about them, and you wouldn't know enough about Manson himself, like him shooting lots of papa and stuff like that, like the things that happened before that. And you could see the fear, you could hear his insecurity with his own actions and behaviors and how he acted and reacted to things, and then you start to realize that he was a big part of it. There was a big picture here. There was more going on than this. And that's sort of what's important, because you're right. The people that think that he's innocent or something, or unaware of what the kids did, it is truly naive. That's just not the way it was. The legal battle, you can argue over whether or not he should be, held accountable, or the level in which he should be. I'm not getting into that. That's a legal argument, but he was very much in charge and commanded what happened. So, they actually got the blood on their hands for the most part, but he was definitely in charge.
I find it interesting, and then I'll take this in a different direction after I state this. I find it interesting that throughout his entire life, his 83 years, he claimed to never once have had anything to do with it. That he claimed that he never once manipulated anyone, that he never once took any responsibility. But then again, he was incredibly paranoid. He stayed in his cell. He didn't want freedom. Which, when you look at Manson as a whole, when you take everything about his personality, when you take the rantings, when you take everything he did in court, when you take every interview he ever did, you put it all together, and you look at it as a giant tapestry. It screams mental illness. Everything screams mental illness. Now, whether it's drug fueled, whether it was some of the drugs he took that actually ended up changing his brain chemistry over time and opened up that mental illness, or whether it was his beginnings, which we can talk about here in a moment, that started to fuel that. There's an extreme amount of mental illness to Charles Manson. And the denial just tells me that if he buys in to the fact that he manipulated people on that level, he then becomes the villain that he doesn't see himself as, because he bought into the theory that he led people on a journey of love. And he wasn't that person. That there's this dark side to him that he doesn't want to acknowledge. Because if he buys in, then he truly is evil. And he doesn't see himself as that, because he even told his followers he was Christ. So Christ doesn't kill, right?
Well, I think in his mind, it became that way, and to know where it all comes from is hard to say. One thing for sure is he reminded me of being on the spectrum and the way he had to have everything controlled. He could only do that by taking his followers into a private location. And he knew that. He couldn't control what went on in the city, and he couldn't control his followers when they had lots of people around them. Mm-hmm. So, that's the Spawn Ranch. That was even the Death Valley and stuff. So he had to have his own separated location where he could preach to them and sort of manipulate their thoughts. To the level of what he was thinking, it's really hard to determine, right? Like, what if, oh, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. I think a lot of times as you go through each of the parts, he seemed to do something in reaction to something that happened before. And that's why he has to do it. He was trying to clean up the old mess, so to speak,
right,
in order to move forward. So, there was something very smart about him, but there was also something, and he had a terrible childhood. He had a terrible, his life was not easy, but that's no excuse. And there's a lot of other people that have had just as bad a time. So, it's really tough to get down to the core of it, but he used all of that stuff. It was about him at the end of the day. It was about what he needed to get. And it didn't matter how many people were killed, or it didn't matter who was hurt. He just had a goal and he had to get to it. And he used whoever to get there.
You bring up something interesting. He's very reactionary, right? He never planned anything in advance. So at least very well. He wasn't a tactician. He wasn't any military strategist. He never thought 5 steps ahead.
No, and that leads me to think that, so he didn't have this ultimate, motive here. He wasn't like, okay, this is where I want to get, this is how I'm going to get there. It was almost like smaller things, like I need to do this. So he went to do something like buy drugs or something, and it ended up badly. And so then, what do I do to fix this? Or when one of his friends got arrested for something, how do I get him out? Oh, this is what we'll do. So it was all one thing led into another. So yeah, he wasn't this great tactician. He wasn't. This was not like a planned scenario where he had this all worked out. It just sort of, it grew out of what happened prior, and it was really to protect himself. And it was also showing you how, I don't want to say fragile, but how insecure he was, and also how scared he would get.
Yeah. Which
he didn't put that on his face. Do you know what I mean? Like he would be like, all powerful type thing and all very manipulative, charming, aggressive. But he was really scared, and he had a lot of issues that he was trying to face. And that sort of, you noticed it if you really look through the little things that he did.
There's an interesting theory, I believe, that's brought up in the Interviews book that deals with the fact that he might have been trained at one time in the art of manipulation. And it's similar to the MK Ultra program. And the reason being is that it seems like he might have conditioned his followers, especially by playing the White Album, the Beatles' White Album, and giving them acid or giving them LSD, and by playing that album over and over again and then giving them suggestions. The Beatles wear armor, or in other words, they or have breastplates or armor, and the armor is their guitar, and trying to manipulate the words of Helter Skelter to mean something else. By giving them these messages over and over again, by using LSD as a chemical agent, by using certain counter programming that's similar to what MK Ultra does. It's been suggested that he couldn't do that on his own, that he had to obtain that training from somewhere. I want to ask you just personally, from hearing that from a different source, Alan, do you buy into that theory? Do you think that that's possible?
Well, anything is possible. I don't buy into it. That's the Tom O'Neill thing. Um, listen, I think that you can make any of that plausible, but there's really no evidence to any of it. There really isn't. Being in the free clinic at the same time that they were doing tests is not enough for me. And not only that, again, then you start thinking that he's planning all of this stuff. The time he was at the free clinic, he was totally just all over the place, fresh out of prison and hanging out in San Fran and meeting girls and starting to get them to live with him. And, or, again, he would move in with them for free rent, free place to live. Mm-hmm. And so he was doing everything that he had to at the time. I don't know that, because that also suggests that he would see this as a way of doing things. Do you know what I mean? And he wasn't good enough. He wasn't efficient enough. He made a lot of mistakes, and too much of it was reactionary for him to all of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if he was like a David Koresh and he was like really had them doing anything, or Jim Jones, where you drink this Kool-Aid and they all do it, a lot of his followers wouldn't. Do you know, if you looked at what they said and how they behaved, and how many of them kept on leaving and coming back, and there was so much turmoil going on in that group. It wasn't a cohesive mind melt. Like, they weren't all together, and he wasn't sitting there and then, okay, this is what we'll do and all that. It was very particular, and he would pick certain people to do certain things because of their situation. So if anything, I think he could pick up who was in the most, rough place in their mind, who was the most fragile and who was the easiest one to manipulate. And he would use them and then dump them if he could. So there was something else. It was too much to the time. I don't know if he really, because not only that, the short time he was in there and he was doing that, even the whole MK Ultra, even that was still in its infancy, and they still didn't know what they could do with it at the time. Like, mm-hmm. It took years later. I don't know. I just don't buy into it. I don't want to say, I'm more of an odds guy, and I believe in evidence. And so when you hear something or see something, I need to have some evidence. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Are you thinking it's more street training, more like a pimp? It's more of a, he's been in and out, lived his life on the streets, knows more how to have a street hustle and get over on people that way.
Yeah, and that's kind of what he was doing. He was doing that as a kid. He did it and that got him in jail. He did it with his wife. He did it with all. He was, stealing cars, and he was doing that sort of street hustle from way before that time. And I, like I'm saying, at the time in the early mid 60s, I don't think they had enough knowledge of LSD and what they could do with it to give it to him, to train him, or to have him learn, because it suggested that they trained him to do, this stuff. But, and again, it's just, I don't know. It's too open and it's too out there. I don't know. Did he use some of the tactics? Possibly. But he always had that, even when he met the girls, even before he was doing any of that or using them. Look how he had moved into the one, Mary, and had other girls come over and convinced her, the girl he lived with, that he could have these girls over and have sex with them and hang out in their apartment, and they're supposed to be his girlfriend. Like, he was doing things right from the get-go. So I'm kind of mixed on that. I need more evidence before I jump on that one.
So what draws his family to want to kill for him? Because I mean, the promises are so pie in the sky. There's, they start out driving around in vans, right? And it's the summer of love, and it's peace and love, and free love at that. And it's, he borrows a lot of things from the Beatles. The vans are the magical mystery tour, and everything's going to be all right. And there's these land of candy, and there's all this other malarkey, and what is it exactly that, I mean, the things he's peddling are very pie in the sky. There's nothing really tangible to grab onto. Why is it that they decide that he's offering that they decide that they'll kill for him?
They kill for themselves. Simple. It's kind of the wrong way. It's not so much, you see, this is kind of this is why he used it as a defense. That's the lawyers. I mean, these people, other than Tex Watson, they were killing for themselves. It was about what they wanted to do. Susan Atkins enjoyed killing. She was in love with the taking of a life and the murder. There was so much going on here with these people. He knew that. And it was easy to put her in the place where she would kill. So you can say so for him because she was devoted to him, but a lot of it was for herself. I don't know if that makes sense. And even when you get to Tex Watson, a lot of with Tex Watson was for the approval of Charlie. He wanted to be Charlie's right-hand man. He wanted the approval. He wanted the acceptance. He wanted the love. And so he would do anything for him. So, but there becomes a point where you start doing things for yourself. I don't know if I'm making that clear.
No, you are.
They're doing it for themselves to gain some sort of approval, but they're still doing it. And that's with Tex. The girls themselves completely did it for themselves. They were all into it. They probably would have murdered with or without Charlie. They wouldn't have murdered the cases that they did because he had his direction. He directed them for sure and wanted them to kill. But he knew that they were off the leash. He knew which ones were and which ones weren't. And that's why he would make someone like Krenwinkel go along with them. Because when you're with Tex and Susan Atkins, and they're all like going crazy and loving it and enjoying it, and they're, come on, stab it, I feel good. Like they're all this, and she wasn't, but he had to make sure she was involved.
Yeah.
So you had different variances with it. He just knew who and what, but that doesn't take away the thought. Like someone said, well, I thought you said he did. Listen, without him, this wouldn't have happened. He knew the ones that were unbalanced, where they were unbalanced. He knew what buttons to push, and he knew where to put them and how to make them feel like they needed to do this. But they were okay with killing. That's the biggest mistake. Don't get it wrong, that even though he was their director and sort of initiated these things, they all got into what they did for themselves, and he just allowed them. He was the guy that said it's okay, so that's kind of a different way of looking at it, but I think it's the more honest way of looking at it.
On a personal note, it's a little alarming that two of them are initially from Minnesota. I got to start looking at how I look at Minnesotans now.
Yeah. Well, you just never know, right?
Yeah.
They're probably your neighbors.
It could be, yeah. I'm a little alarmed at that. I'll have to take the break to think about that. Let's take our break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the victims in that night. We'll cover it just briefly, and then I want to get into the prosecution a little bit and how things were bumbled a little bit and how things weren't connected. And I want to talk a little bit about the frustration of Manson and trying to frame the Panthers for it. We'll go a little bit over the case, not much because it's been covered a lot, but then I want to get into life in prison as well. And there's something about Manson's death I want to cover with you before we leave today too. That's really alarming. That I want to just glance over with you here, Alan. Because Manson did have children, and there was a bit of a scuffle about what to do with his remains. And there was something particular about his death that I want to discuss with you that chilled me to the bone when I read it. This is the book right here, folks. It's a good one. It's a darn good one. And I encourage you to get it right now. We have a link in the description of this program. And really, I think this is Alan's, one of Alan's best, if not his best book that he's put out. It's called Peace, Love, and Murder, the Charles Manson Story. Folks, I was riveted to this book. I read it from beginning to end in one sitting. It's not just that I have a fascination with Charles Manson. It's the fact that when this book was put together, I really felt like Alan put his all into this book. This is, I know, a passion project for Alan, and it is a good one, a very good book. So I encourage you to go get it right now. It's in the link in the description of this program. Check it out, won't you? There's also a companion piece right here, and this is the companion piece right here. It's Charles Manson, The Interviews, Volume 8. I had to read it off the cover. Sorry, Alan. There it is. And this is the companion piece. You've got both of them right here. We have links to both of them in the description of the program. I encourage you to get both of them. One complements the other and has interviews with the people surrounding and involved in the Manson murders. So there you go. When we come back, we'll cover the case. We'll cover the prosecution, and we'll cover Manson's death. That's coming up next with Alan R. Warren right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Alan R. Warren. And I didn't do a proper introduction, so I'll give it to you real quick here, Alan. He's the best-selling author, producer, and host of the popular NBC radio show House of Mystery and Inside Writing, both heard on the 106.5 FM Los Angeles and 102.3 FM Riverside, 1050 AM Palm Springs, and 540 AM KYAH Salt Lake City, 1150 AM KNKW Seattle, Tacoma, and Phoenix. His best-selling true crime books in Canada include Beyond Suspicion, the true story of Colonel Russell Williams, which will be featured on CNN's Lies, Crimes and Video, Season 4, and Murder Time 6, the true story of the Wells Gray Park murders. In America here, his bestsellers include The Killing Game, serial killer Rodney Alcala, which was featured on several television shows, including Very Scary People with Donnie Wahlberg, Oxygen's Mark of a Killer, and Reels' Killer Trophies, and soon to be included in a 4-part Sundance Channel documentary called Death's Date. His bestseller, Doomsday Cult, The Devil's Hostages, was featured on Vice's Dark Side of the 90s, which I believe you can see every other hour on Vice. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's true.
His latest series, Killer Queens, is a 6-part book series covering murders that affect the gay community. So far, it includes Book 1, Leopold and Loeb, Book 2, Butcher of Hanover, Fritz Harman. Yeah, sorry, my eyes are crossing as I'm reading this. Book 3, Grinder Serial Killer, Stephen Port, and Book 4, Bruce MacArthur, Toronto Gay Killer. So there you got your proper introduction there, Alan.
Oh, I'm excited.
There you go. I figured I owe you that much, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All good.
I have to do my proper introduction. I just like saying the radio stations that you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. All right, but this book right here, folks, this is it. This is the penultimate Manson book, which you want to go get. It is Peace, Love, and Murder, the Charles Manson Story. We have a link in the description of the program. The companion piece is right here. It is Charles Manson, The Interviews, Volume 8, which you want to get both of them. You want to pick. We have a link to each one of them. You want to get both of them, folks. I'll tell you why. Because the interviews alone have some really interesting tidbits in them from different interviews that, and by the way, Alan is such an amazing interviewer and gets some really cool tidbits out of these different interviews that he conducts. You're going to hear and see different things in these interviews that you've never heard before from different people that have not only conducted interviews with different Manson family members, but also interviews with Manson family members. And man, I'm telling you, Alan, you've gotten some tidbits in these interviews that, again, we don't have time in this interview to sit down and go through each one of the ones that kind of took me aback. And as I was reading them, just going, you got to be kidding me. As I read them, one of them we will get to at the end of the program, which absolutely chilled me to the bone. It just took me aback. I couldn't believe it, but we'll save that for the end. I want to get into the case a little bit, and I want to get into the victims here, and let's talk case first. Most people know about the case, and we'll start first with, because it is a little involved, we'll leave a lot of it for the book. We know that Manson got into, you talk about the fact that he got into it with a drug lord he thought was a Black Panther, and a drug buy gone bad. He did shoot this particular Black Panther when the person he went with couldn't do it, and assumed that they were coming after him on was it Spawn Ranch they were staying at the time?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That was Spawn.
Yeah. And so he thought the race war was about to start. This was the only thing that Manson did plan out, right? Was this race war?
And again, but he did sort of, but it came out of response to that, because he really believed, because the next day after he shot the drug guy, Lots Papa, the next day it was reported in the news that a Black Panther got shot and killed. He thought that's who he had shot, but it wasn't. So in his mind, oh my God, the Panthers, they're going to come out. So he put full effort into making everyone at the ranch believe, man, Black Panthers are coming for us. I killed one of them. So it was a bragging tool for him. He was like, ooh, I killed one. You know, he's making it like that. It was a big deal. But at the same time, he started putting people on guard around the ranch, and it was more of he had to make a plan at the spur of the moment because of that. He was reacting to what he thought had happened. Meanwhile, that guy wasn't a Black Panther, and he wasn't the one that was killed. He actually survived. And later down the road, he would end up testifying against Manson years later. So it was kind of one of those situations. Again, it wasn't like he sat there and this is what we're going to do. It was a reaction to what he thought had happened.
So he fails at that. I mean,
Yeah.
to put it mildly. And in that, there's other issues going on. There's other things that, let's face it, this is how you know the Manson family in general are not highly skilled killers. It seems like every venture they go into, they're leaving bits of themselves behind, right? There's the killing of Gary Hinman, in which they leave evidence behind, right?
Yeah. Well, the Hinman one, see, that was another mess. And that was with Bobby Beausoleil, right, who ended up getting arrested. But in that particular case too, when you look at it, it was a mess. I don't even know where to begin, because he ultimately just wanted money, and see, and what I do too in there is, I don't know if you noticed, but I put in so that people would understand. I wasn't trying to repeat the story, but I would put in how there were different stories coming from different family members. Mm-hmm. They remembered it differently, or they told it differently to protect themselves. Who knows?
Yep.
Right. But the Hinman case, and when Beausoleil got arrested, that was kind of the key to Manson going after celebrities, so to speak, where you got into Tate and Polanski, that attack of that house, the Sharon Tate murders, as they call them. So that was what led to that, because he did tell Beausoleil and the girls with him that to make it look like a Black Panther murder, and they would put like marks that Panthers would be known for leaving on the wall with the blood. Mm-hmm. They would do things to make it look like a Panther murder, so that he wanted, that was just his way. It was his way against Panthers. But what happened was, he got arrested. So in Manson's mind, if they went out and did another murder and made it look like it was a Panther murder, and then they would let Bobby Beausoleil go because it couldn't have been him, as he was in custody. Like that was how he was thinking. And so that kind of led into the Tate murders.
Which, again, is kind of twisted thinking, because, of course, the cops are going to see it and go, well, copycat murder, right? I mean, that's
right.
That's the first thing they're going to think. Someone's copying the murder. We've got the suspect. First of all, we've got, didn't they have a fingerprint, or they had with Bobby Beausoleil, and they had him bloody in a car, right? And then they had the knife behind the wheel well. They had if I remember right,
it was crazy. I mean, because they had Beausoleil in the car of the guy that they murdered, with blood all over himself from the guy they murdered, plus the weapon that killed the guy and plus his fingerprints. You're right. So I mean,
they got him dead to rights. Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah, and they suspected what they called it, a drug deal. Was that a drug deal gone wrong? Was that the one they said was a drug deal gone wrong?
That was one of the ideas, that they thought there was something to do with drugs. Because I mean, Hinman was, not only was he a kind of a teacher aide at the college, but he was known for making his own drugs and selling it. Yeah, like he was known, and the police knew who he was. It wasn't like a surprise to them. Right. So they just thought,
they pretty much just wrapped that up in a nice little bow, threw it away, and said, "We got the guy we got." Yeah, there's no way if it's replicated elsewhere that we think that this is related to anything, right? So
I have to say one other thing. The other mistake is that what Manson wasn't realizing, and that I think a lot of us didn't probably at the time, but when you look back at it, you see it, is Hinman was murdered in a different community than where he went with the Tate murders in the La Bianca murder. So what happened back then in the 60s, each police force run itself, and they had their own detectives and their own squads. They didn't work with each other. There wasn't like this big, massive overlook, where they all connected and talked and stuff. They run it within themselves. So the Hinman murder case detectives wouldn't be working on something that happens in Hollywood. It was, but he wasn't thinking that way. He was just thinking police. It was the generalizations that people make, the police, the this, the that, the Black Panthers, like they just had generalizations. And that was another mistake that he made.
I'm sure he thought, they all talk to each other, or, he probably didn't even think that far, right? He probably wasn't, like you said, he probably just thinks police, they all work in the same area. They probably all know each other or whatever. This will all get covered.
Right. So,
he probably thought, one case is as good as the next, and they all cover the same area. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it went from Hinman to eventually the Tate murder, correct?
Right.
Okay, so Terry Melcher is the connection between, or the connection of the Tate murder, because supposedly Terry Melcher was staying at the what's now known as the Tate Polanski house, or that house there on CeeLo Drive.
Right.
But Terry Melcher was not at that house anymore. And we should explain that Terry Melcher was the son of Doris Day, correct?
Right.
Okay. And Terry Melcher was producing Dennis Wilson and the Beach Boys at the time.
Yes, he was doing a lot of groups, and he was very popular and very successful at the time of producing rock bands and singers. And his mother had gone through a divorce, Doris Day, and in it they had, or no, it wasn't. It was before the divorce. They had found out that her husband at the time had squandered a lot of her wealth. That's why he ended up giving up the Cielo Drive place and moving back into his mother's to help her at the same time. So that's why he left. But he was there for a long time. Yeah.
Okay. So it just so happens that Manson and the stories differ a little bit, don't they? There's the story that Manson and Melcher had known each other for a while. Maybe they had done drugs together. He had kind of ingratiated himself with the family, that he had not only just partied with them, but he'd partied with the girls. Manson had played music for him, that Melcher had was trying to get him a deal, or thought maybe he was worthy of a deal. Is that the deal?
I think honestly what happened was, you know, the Manson and some of his family had met up with, they ended up staying with Wilson at his house, and there was a lot of parties, and Wilson believed in Manson. Wilson really liked Manson, his music and all that. He really thought this guy could be a hit, okay? And so he introduced him to his producer, Melcher, at some of these parties. Melcher listened to him, gave him time of day, and did all that stuff because of his friendship and his supporting of the Wilsons, the Beach Boys.
Okay.
But I think what happened was, I think Melcher was really not keen on
okay. I got it mixed up.
He was kind of take it or leave it. Yeah, it's okay. He was dealing with a lot of top-notch people that were doing really well. Manson was pretty raw and was not very, he wasn't trained, and so he wasn't very good. And even when he did his tracks for the Beach Boys and the recordings, even the engineers were like, oh God, this is not that good, right? It was kind of he had some good ideas, but he didn't know how to perform properly. So I think that was the problem there.
Okay. So Melcher goes and moves into his mother's house to try and reorganize. Manson takes it the wrong way. There is the misunderstanding. Supposedly that creates the bad blood, which creates the Tate murders. That's the story that we get. But there's also an alternate story in there that maybe that's not the case at all, that maybe there was some other story involving, was it Melcher?
Well, I think the case with the Tates it was focused on the Hinman murder and Bouzoulet getting arrested. He wanted him out of jail. He wanted to do it. So in his mind, he had come up with the idea of going out and getting some celebrities, famous people, and killing them, and doing it in a really awful fashion, and making sure it looked like it was the Black Panthers behind it. This would help Bouzoulet get out. So this was on his mind. Okay. At the same time, what happened was, Melcher had moved and had been avoiding him and all that. So, but he finally got him to set up a time to show up and at the ranch, and he would play for him. Okay.
All right.
So Melcher didn't show up, made him really angry. He got really angry, and I talk about the fits that he had. And then he got Melcher to show up with Wilson, like a little later. And of course, Melcher didn't like what he heard and just put him off to a producer, a different guy, which I mentioned in there. And that didn't go anywhere. So I think what it did was, while he's concocting this plan to kill celebrities, he was so angry at Melcher and so embarrassed. That was what drew him to that house. So it didn't matter if Melcher was there or not. I think that led him. He had to go somewhere and kill someone famous. Even if Melcher's not there, whoever is there is going to be rich and famous, because why else would they be living there?
Right.
I think it was simple as that.
Okay. So any of the other ancillary stories are just that. They're maybe alibi stories, ways to make it a little bit different.
And it all adds to it, and you got to see, that's why I said I write it for the time and location, because you got to put it in the location, what's going on and how Manson's feeling. Manson's been sitting for a couple of years trying to get some stuff happening here. Melcher's not really doing it. He ignored him. Then he didn't show up. And Manson had made all these food and party atmosphere and spent all this time and money, and then Melcher doesn't show up. He was real angry. And then he got just as angry at Wilson, too, because Wilson was starting to play the ignore game as well, ghosting, as we call it now. So he was really angry at the same time that he had the Beausoleil thing going on. So it just sort of all happened. So what better location to go is to go to the Cielo Drive.
Now, for Cielo Drive, Charlie wasn't on site for that at all, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right. No, that was, he took Tex Watson and directed him with a couple of the girls to go there and do the job and make it look good. So that was, he didn't get on the scene until after the fact, because he told them what to do. They went, they committed the murders, they came back, but Manson wasn't happy with what he heard. So he made them, like, he drove back to the Cielo Drive and he tried to make sure that it looked like the way he wanted it to. Like the Black Panthers were there. And so he set things up. He staged a lot of things in the house to direct the police and the investigators towards the Black Panthers. So that was what happened there.
For the LaBianca murders, he had a little bit more of a hands-on approach to those, though, correct?
Yeah. Oh, because he was real angry. The next day they get up, they start hearing reports about the Tate murders, and there was nothing about Black Panthers. There was nothing about the evidence. There was nothing about any of that. So he was really, really angry at Tex and the girls. Like, you don't know how to do anything, man. He was really mad. And he spent the day pacing, and then he decided in order to do this, he had to be there. He had to do the murders. Like, he had to make sure it happened the way it was supposed to happen. So he directed and took them to the LaBianca places. And again, there's questions of why he chose that place or not.
Okay, interesting. Again, I'll refer people to the books to read the specifics behind the murders. Again, they're grisly, they're horrible. To get the background on the victims, a lot of it's pretty well known, and stuff that we don't necessarily have to get into because of time. I want to talk about the prosecution and in the trial of Charles Manson for a moment here, and I want to talk a little bit about the antics that Manson got into. And I had this question for you. Here's the deal, Alan. As you covered it brilliantly, Manson gets into this incredible tirade during his trial, right?
Yeah.
Vincent Bugliosi has his hands full, to say the least, when he goes to prosecute Manson. At one point, Manson is a lawyer, then decides he wants to represent himself. And he takes off, and you at one point in the book, you quote him in this tirade he goes on, and to try and read it and make sense of it, I give you credit for printing the entire thing out. I at one point get lost trying to figure out his stream of consciousness. Because I don't know how he connected dots. I get what he's saying, but it's tough to follow. But I get why you put it there. It was to, it definitely shows that the man is out there. I mean, he's got, although he's got thoughts, it really shows it's a good way of putting this, Alan. It really shows the fact that he was more of a disruptor than anything else, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I put the testimony in his own words too down because, and I fought back and forth even with the editors. We thought about it, and it was like, do we or don't we? But I think it gives you a good indication of how he thought, the directions and how he connected things. If you really, you said you get lost, well, it's because he's following a different path. If that makes, and so it's kind of, but when you start to realize that path, it starts to make more sense on why he did the things he did, and how he also learned by, his staging performances in court. He learned how to, he learned what he could do to get people to react the way he wanted them to. He knew what he had to do to get the judge to do something or to get, do you know what I mean? Like he kind of knew. So he would stage these things. And a lot of them, it was crazy because even with the guards and the people that would take him back when he got put away after doing a performance, they get him back in the room. He's totally calm and normal. It was like he just did this to get that reaction. It was he was playing with the court.
These monologues, though, it seems to me that when you, especially the one monologue that you put in there, to me, it seems like he's so around the world with things and here and there and everywhere. I'm surprised that he can tie his shoes in the morning and then go and do other tasks and do them in a linear fashion. He's so all over the board with everything that it doesn't shock me that he's always one or two steps behind in dealing with things in a reactionary fashion rather than planning things out and executing things. If he weren't chasing his tail, he would have been the most dangerous revolutionary on the planet if he could plan things out and follow a plan.
Right. Right. And that's kind of the whole key to it. He's chasing his tail, but he doesn't know the tail belongs to his body. He's running around, and that's why he's chasing it. There's a lot of things going on. And because he's so busy with that, he ends up doing a lot of reactionary moves that were not the smartest. And so that's what I mean. He wasn't a planned out guy. That's sort of, when you get through that and you read that sort of stuff, you start to realize that. That's why when you get back to the Tom O'Neill theory about the whole thing, you start to think, well, I don't know if that would fit with the way he acts and the way he talks, behaves. I don't know. There's something that's not connecting there. Not for me anyway. You look at the big picture, there's something missing here. There's something else going on with Manson.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. And as far as Bugliosi, with him, you got to remember with Bugliosi, he kind of got thrown into it in a way. He was the backup guy. Mm-hmm. And then the main prosecutor got removed. For doing something. And so then all of a sudden you got Bugliosi thrown into it. And when he had the helter-skelter idea and theme, he stuck with it, even when he knew there was other things involved and other facts, because he had to convince a jury, and he couldn't stray too far. He couldn't throw it in all the way. See, Charlie wanted it to be all over the place where everyone's confused and not knowing what's going on and creating a lot of dismay in the court and amongst the people testifying. Bugliosi knew that he had to keep it streamlined, short, simple, straight to the point, and get people to thinking, this is it. Here's the theory. This is what happened. Bang, bang, bang. He didn't want people to stray in their minds. So in a way, he kind of concealed things. And that's why you'll hear other people talking bad about him and saying bad things. But at the same time, he had to get that conviction. You know what I mean? So he had to kind of give up something to get another.
But Bugliosi had an impeccable record, right? He only had like one loss, right?
Yeah. Right. And it wasn't really about that. It was that it became so high profile, and this is something he wasn't used to. It was something prosecutors were not really. It wasn't the norm of the day. You weren't watching trials on TV. It wasn't like it was a different time. So, but it became such a thing that he had to deal with the public. He was so in front of everyone, and he wasn't used to it. And then he had to still convince a jury and get a conviction. So he really streamlined things. It was really the smart thing to do to get the conviction, but it did cause him a lot of heartache in the future years. Like this, it didn't go well for him afterwards in a lot of ways.
I remember as a kid watching interviews with Bugliosi, and I remember when he released his book. And I remember watching different interviews. Was it Tom Snyder he was on?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, and he. I remember the controversy. I remember that much, and just the idea that people thought he was his prosecution of that trial was somewhat controversial, and him having to defend himself quite a bit. And I thought, for the severity of the crimes, for a while he was looked at as a hero, and for a while he really did become a bit of a, not GOAT as in greatest of all time, but GOAT as in, the GOAT of the story. It's funny how now would you say he's faded into obscurity now that he's passed away?
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of it, he gets used as a whipping board. He gets used as the bad person, right? Yeah. And this is what typical with a lot of people that are writing and doing things out there, that they take a character who ultimately he wanted to do the right thing. He wanted to get this conviction for these people that he knew were bad, and Manson, and that's all good. But it seems like a lot of writers today and a lot of people out in PR world of podcasts, they'll take that character, take Bugliosi, and make him into the bad guy.
Yeah.
He did this wrong. He did that wrong. He did this. And some of it couldn't be true, right? I mean, you look back and you think the guy had a book deal signed before the prosecution was over. He had his co-writer sitting in the audience every day taking notes. That in itself today would be kind of looked frowned upon. That was something that would be bad, right? But you got to remember back in that time, it wasn't.
Right. Right.
It fits society, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. See, it's really important not to take the judgment game when you're right. Right. And I just want to know what happened and try to figure out why they. And the thing is that too, after the case, he decided to run for politics.
Yeah.
But the bad thing was he thought his wife was having an affair with the milkman, and for young listeners, they used to deliver milk to your house every day.
Yeah.
And so the milkman was supposed to be fooling around with his wife. So what's he do? He uses the FBI to find out who the milkman is and all of his information. And then he calls the milkman and he said some really bad things to him and threatens him and all that stuff. This came out. And of course, back then they thought, well, that's inappropriate use of the FBI and the police resources for your own personal gain. So, of course, he lost both times that he run, and it was used against him a lot. And back in those days, it was. I mean, today you could probably get away with it, but back then you couldn't. It was frowned upon. So but rather than be in a judgment place, you just kind of look at it and go, I think he just did the best he could with what he could and what he had, and it was no conspiracy and there was no evil intent. He was trying to get the conviction for a lot of different reasons. So
I think today using the FBI to spy on the milkman is a slap on the wrist, isn't it? I mean, that's nothing.
That'd get you elected.
Yeah, that'd get you elected, exactly.
It's a different meaning and a different time. That's why it's so important to make sure people understand that when you're writing something like this, the times of what's going on, because I don't want people to get into the idea of, he's evil because he did this. No, he just did this. And this is what people did.
Yeah.
And then this is how they reacted. And this is what society thought. So I'd really stick to the facts and to the thing and not really get into judging him But yeah, I think they use him as a bad one, and same as even when it comes to the Zodiac killer, for some reason, they use him and they make him. He's always the bad guy. He's involved in it somehow.
Yeah.
And I just don't buy into any of that stuff.
Right. So as we start to getting close to wrapping up here today, Alan, I want to bring up, and again, there's so much to this book, and it's such a wonderful book, the wonderful set of books here. But the main book here is Peace, Love, and Murder, the Charles Manson Story, and then the companion book here, The Interviews, Volume 8, part of the House of Mystery interview series. Of course, Charles Manson is spawned. Just saying that gives me the willies. But he has children and grandchildren. At one point, and what I found interesting when you read the interviews, there was a period of time when you were conducting these interviews where he was trying to marry a woman named Star.
Yeah.
And the motive for marrying Star was kind of shady.
What did he do that wasn't shady?
Yeah, right.
You make it sound like it's, oh my God, he did what?
But it was, I want to say probably maybe even a little beyond shady. I mean, he was trying to skirt quite a few rules at that point, as far as maybe even, I mean, it wasn't just your typical conjugal visit, type deal or even that type thing, or even it went beyond prison groupie type stuff. It was a strange relationship, and it never did end up in marriage, did it?
No, never happened. And you have to also look at her motives, right? It wasn't the best. And even with the lawsuits and all that afterwards, it was just all about what she could get out of it as well.
There was the idea that eventually, time would come up for Manson, and something had to be done with his remains. And I guess that's where I'm taking this. Yeah. There's a chilling detail at the end of the book that absolutely. Now, I'm gonna preface it with this here, Alan, and that is, there's a good friend of the show here, Zach Baggins, who has his museum out in Las Vegas, and he has a serial killer wing of his museum, and I know you mentioned to me privately before the show that you've never been to the museum. I'd encourage you to go, if you ever have. If you ever have, inkling to want to step foot in the U.S. ever again, But if you ever get to Vegas, I encourage you to go out and see the museum, especially the serial killer wing, because it's very interesting. There's some Gacy paintings there. There's Manson's dentures are there, believe it or not.
Yeah, I guess that's all good, but
there's some other things as well. But there's some different things that belong. And what's funny is when you read your book, I know exactly how he got a hold of them. Care to guess who gave them to Zach?
No, I don't want to venture. Who knew? Tell me.
Well, you'd pointed out in the book that, of course, his son, unfortunately committed suicide.
Right.
Because the idea of being Charles Manson's son was a little too much for him. Correct.
Yeah. He couldn't take it. Huh?
But he does have a grandson.
Yes.
And his grandson, kind of every time he turns around, has his hand out, right?
Yeah.
And
he wanted to do an interview with him. He wanted money.
Yeah,
quite a bit of money too.
And I think the grandson ended up with a lot of the estate, didn't he?
Yeah, he ended up with the majority of it, and then that Maryland guy, who was his pen pal, got some stuff too. Like it was kind of a split in a few of the different things. Depends on what you look at.
Yeah. I think the grandson was the one who did business with Zach.
Right.
Yeah. Because didn't he get the body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's the one who did business with Zach. But there's one passage, if I may, in the book, which absolutely gave me the willies. And I think you know where I'm going here. As I'm reading the book, it talks about the funeral. To talk about how devoted, you said there's 10 people who attended the funeral. Do you want to tell people?
No, you go for it. You're doing better than me.
Oh, God. Okay, so as it's described in the book, that there weren't very many people at the funeral of Charles Manson, but the people who were there were devoted to Manson. And it's put in the context of this, Alan, and it's talking about, could there be a new Manson family? And, even in that day and age, before Manson passed away, could a new Manson family spring up? And the question was asked, I forget who it was asked of, but they said, oh, absolutely. There are that many devotees of Manson, even in this day and age, that you could form a new Manson family if you wanted to. The old family would never participate. They're too old, or they, maybe the passion is there, but the energy is not, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The reasoning's different too.
Yeah, the reasoning's different too. But sure, there's a new generation that'd be all in. And the example was brought up about the funeral. That when they got a hold of Charlie's ashes at the funeral, they didn't go to a river, put his ashes in the river. They didn't go to a mountain, scatter his ashes in a mountain, or put them and plant them by a tree. They took his ashes and put them all over their faces. What?
Yeah.
Alan.
Yeah. So, and there's also the claim that, they you put it in a tattoo ink and made tattoos with this. And there's the traditional that they threw it on the hillside after their Christian funeral and stuff. There's all sorts of stuff. Who knows? It's just all sort of funny to me. You can't say that it's weird now with all the stuff going on in the world today. This would fit today's news, no problem.
Oh, sure. It's mundane now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, we're in a different world.
What kind of Looney Tunes is that? Oh, Manson just died. Let me get a snort of that. Just put your face in it. What?
Well, the figure he was and the way people reacted to him and how they, for some reason, a lot of humans will idolize and worship other humans for different reasons, and always put some sort of some sort of religious connotation to it, and will do anything to be a part of them, including eating them or putting their ashes on the face or using it in a tattoo or whatever it takes. It doesn't surprise me after my 63 years on this earth. None of that surprises me anymore, because how many times have we seen it over and over again? And yeah, it's bizarre.
Willie Nelson has a song called Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die. I don't think he means it, though.
Well, so it gives you a whole new meaning. Maybe he does. He's from that time. Maybe he thought this was the best, the coolest.
I really don't think he means it.
I know you want your girlfriend to do that when... Come on. Tell us the truth. You dream about it.
Yeah. I just...
What can I say?
It's the idolatry is at a new level. Although you got to think that somewhere, in the depths of hell, he was looking up going, hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It all seems strange to me, but
it's very
again,
strange.
I try not to be judgmental on that. I just try to get into this is kind of what we got going on here, and I can't explain it. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV.
Right. Well, and you do a darn good job at it too. Well, Alan, this book, again, my friend, you've outdone yourself. It is a great book. Peace, Love, and Murder, the Charles Manson Story, is available right now. The companion piece is right here. It is part of the interviews, the interview series, and it's volume 8. And we have a link to both books in the description of this program. And I want you to go get both these books, folks, because I don't think you can do one without the other. This is just my personal opinion, but there are tidbits in both books that will chill you and thrill you. I'll put it that way. Especially if, I hate to throw this out there, but if you're a true crime fan and a Manson fan, is that a good way to put this, Alan?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. There is something in each one of these books for you. Alan is one of the best researchers and authors out there in the true crime field, and one of the best interviewers, bar none. And he's got something for everyone out there when it comes to this case. And there's some stuff in here that, again, I had no idea, and I've been into this case for decades. And again, as I sat and read both these books before we got on today, there was stuff in here that absolutely shocked me, chilled me, and it made me go, wow, okay. I had no idea. So
that's my job.
Yeah. And I absolutely love both these books. So Alan, my friend, I tip my cap to you, and I want to thank you so much for being on with us again today.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine, my friend. So I ask you with that, as we leave everybody today, what's next? Now that you've done this, I know that you were working extremely hard on this. This was a decade and a half of work.
Yeah. I've got, I got a big pile of fiction stories written. I got a big pile of short stories done. They're fictional. And then I've got another book that's a crime that's from the 60s as well. So I don't know. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. The word vacation doesn't come to mind, or?
No, you know what? It'll all come together. I always got 4 or 5 stories going at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of, and it's getting the evidence and getting all the information together, and then confirming a lot of the stuff, and then kind of putting it all together. So, but I got quite a few going on right now, and I don't know what will be next. To be honest, I'm kind of in a spot right now. I've got a few things pretty planned, but I don't know yet.
What do you got coming up on House of Mystery you're excited about?
Well, probably stuff like David McCloskey. He's the ex-CIA guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a book called The Persian, and that's probably the biggest thing, and the most interesting.
Nice.
But other than that, nothing.
Cool. All right.
That's not saying I've got there's a lot of sci-fi. We're doing a lot of new writers.
Yep.
Over the next couple of weeks. So they're not really known names. I like to do a couple of weeks of independence and mix them in with the David McCloskeys and stuff, so that they get some people notice them and hear them and stuff like that. So that's kind of the what's going on over the next 2 weeks for the most part.
Excellent. Well, we'll have links to House of Mystery as well as the books, and you can check out everything Alan Warren in the description of this program. Alan, I want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Folks, let's lighten things up a little bit. Let's join Jessica Freeberg and Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again, the time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, I need a co-host or a co-hostess. So I will look at my little Rolodex, actually it's my little video Rolodex, because we don't have paper Rolodexes anymore. We got rid of those in the 80s or 90s or whatever. We got these little handheld devices. And no, not that person. No, not that person. You know what? I happen to know of somebody who has a little party going on this weekend for a book release. Not just one book release, not just two book releases. By the way, our guest today had 2 books out. This person has 4 books out and is the scourge of the Hindustan Times. They called me today and said, please, mercy rule. We can't possibly put another book of theirs out on the Hindustan Times because we don't have any more room on our charts. I said, you'll take as many books as they can write and you'll love it. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. Eater of worlds, destroyer of charts. Number 1 in your hearts, ladies and gentlemen. Jessica Freeberg. Jess, how you doing?
I'm good. I've never been described as the scourge before.
Well, yeah. Just try.
Sounds icky.
No. It's not an icky thing. It's
Sounds like what pirates get.
No, it's scurvy. That's
I know.
Yeah, it's different.
Oh.
Just trying something different.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Number 1 in your hearts. That was good. That was good.
You know, I tried to bring it around.
Poetry in motion.
Try to make it positive at the end there. Yeah. Yeah.
You brought it around.
Yeah, I brought it around.
I loved every word of it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Before we get launched here, yesterday was my daughter's birthday. So I want to say happy birthday, kiddo.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's Kylie Marie's birthday yesterday. So she turned 103 yesterday. So congratulations. She's all grown up now. She was on the Titanic. She's the one who pushed Leonardo DiCaprio's head underwater. I'm so proud of her. And
she could have shared that door with them. Come on.
Why?
Plenty of room.
Boys are no good. They're icky and evil. So
That's true. They're the scourge.
yeah, they're the scourge of the nation. So down they go. No, I'm not telling you people how old she is. Boys are bad. I don't want them chasing my daughter. So so there's that. But yeah, I love you, kiddo. So it's by the way, someday I will have her on the show. She wants to be on the show desperately.
Well, you should. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, she's a huge fan of the paranormal. But so one day I will have her on the show. I just I'm like, so what do you want to be on? What do you want to be on this show for? Is what I ask her, and then she's like, well, it'd just be nice to be on the show one day. But she is a huge fan of the paranormal. She has been since she was little.
Oh,
yeah. So it's just a matter of. I was like, well, we'll figure it out. She does have a titch bit of the psychic in her too, which is interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you do too. So apples don't fall far.
Yeah. So we'll have to figure it out. We'll figure it out, but we'll have her on someday. She has some interesting ghost stories too. Maybe we'll just. I hate the self-serving. Here's my family. Let's talk all about us. Shows. No, that's bullshit. So we won't do that, but we'll do a show where we can or maybe we'll work her in for part of an episode of Supernatural News. So then that way there's a reason to have her on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you always need a co-host, so you could have her co-host one day.
Yeah, I suppose.
Share a share or two.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I love that idea. And I think our listeners would love it too.
Yeah. Gotta have a reason to have her. That's the way I look at it. Gotta put her to work. Gotta have a reason to have her here.
Well, make her co-host. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have the Nepo baby in, you got to put her to work, right? I mean, no free rides here, no free lunch. So, yeah. But no, Papa loves you, Kylie. So we'll have you in sometime. So. All right. We got to hit this not only at the end of the show, but before we get going here, you have a big thing coming up on Friday.
Yes, I have a book launch party. So there'll be wine and treats. There is an RSVP on Facebook just so we can kind of gauge how much to bring so we don't run out of food and wine. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It's at Canvas Convergence in St. Louis Park, which is also a super cool 3D museum or art gallery, I should say. And they have really art that you can interact with and take photos with and look like you're inside of it. So it's just a really cool place.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing. So you're coming.
Yes.
And we're going to take some pictures in the art and we'll share it on social media. But yeah, if you live in the metro area, you're totally welcome to come.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there as well on Friday. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and your mama was at my book signing this weekend. She's so sweet.
Yeah, if she ran up a bill, I'm sorry, I'm not paying it. I've already told you that. Yeah.
She bought all the books.
Did she? Oh, God. Oh, so how much am I out now?
No, I don't remember exactly how many. I think she bought a couple. I think I'd already given her a couple for her birthday, didn't I?
Yeah. You already were nice enough to do that. So I'm probably out, I'm probably out $40, $50 now?
Couple $100.
God.
You know.
I knew it.
14 books. 14 books.
She bought 14 books?
No, I'm kidding.
Jeez.
She did not.
You know, I tell her when she goes out in public, don't take advantage of my generosity. But there she goes again. Yep, she bought 14 books on my dime.
She's the sweetest.
Yeah.
I was thirsty, so my husband brought me water, and the water bottle must have been like, I don't know, distorted somehow. It wouldn't stand up straight, and I didn't know that, so I just took a swig, sat it down, and it knocked over and spilled on all the books they were selling.
Oh no, really?
Oh, it was so bad. And the bookstore owner was like, oh, water's the fastest way to ruin a book. And I'm like, oh, well, sorry. They'll buy them. They'll love them.
One of those bookstore owners, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure she was not pleased with me, but they only ruined one, and I bought the one that I ruined. So
let me guess. She walked around with a hydrometer and said, it has to be a certain humidity in the bookstore in order for us to operate.
They do. They do. Books are so delicate. They need a certain amount of humidity and very weird.
Just remind the bookstore owner, there's always Amazon if you get too particular.
I did feel bad, though. My husband felt so bad. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, way to sabotage me. I was up there talking away, and I just spilled water everywhere, and I'm like, oh my God, get me towels.
Oh. Not good, Mr. Freeberg. Not good.
Oh, he meant well.
Yeah, he did. He was just trying to keep you hydrated, keep you going.
He was.
Yep. And then panic ensued.
And then disaster.
Then the bookstore owner with the hydrometer came by and went, oh, this will not do. No.
Yes.
Who's going to pay for that one?
It was a good little crowd, though. They were fun. They asked a lot of questions about ghosts, and I love that.
Yeah, that's excellent.
They were into it. And then last night I went ghost hunting.
Now tell us about that before we get going, because you were at Four Paws, right?
I did, yeah. So Four Paws closed down a couple years ago, and when they closed down, the manager and the assistant manager reached out to Natalie and I and Kevin Swanson, who you know, who's a friend of the show, and they invited us to come into the building after it was closed, just to kind of say goodbye to the spirits and let them know that they weren't abandoning them.
Okay.
It was actually really sweet and very sad.
Oh.
And yesterday was the first time I'd been back since we did that, but it's reopened, which is amazing, and new staff. And so they're really, embracing their hauntedness, and they wanted to do a ghost hunt for some of the employees and the owner's wife. And so we took them on a paranormal investigation last night. We got some really good evidence. And then they're doing these two nights of dinners. They were just going to do one, but it sold out in less than 24 hours. So they opened up another one the next night, and we're presenting the legends, the history, some ghost stories, and then the paranormal evidence.
Nice.
For dinner.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right. Look at that. All right. So
I'm already tired just thinking about it.
Oh, I know. You were up late last night, weren't you? Jeez. All right. Well, then we have to get through this and get you out of here so you can get a nap or something. Because
I'm just gonna try to be witty, but I am tired, so bear with me if I say anything stupid.
You'll be fine. We've got plenty of stupid for you to comment on, so I'm sure you'll get some of that in there today. Speaking of stupid, are you ready for this?
I am ready. Let's go.
Our first story is right here in Minnesota. We talk about shotgun weddings, Jess. It's that season, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, right here in Minnesota, they figured out a way to get shots off during a wedding.
Really?
We're going to Maplewood.
Not far away.
Not far away, where a man was shot in both legs during a wedding.
What?
Yes. Happened last week.
By the dad of the bride or what?
Oh, well, we'll find out. A man was shot in both legs at a wedding in Maplewood a week ago Saturday, according to the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office. First responders were called to the 2100 block of Maplewood Drive North. This sounds like a commercial for Shine Company. And not the people who make the cheap clothing where you get it on the app. Shine Company is it's a local radio institution where you go and get jewelry.
Oh.
Yeah. You've heard the commercials, haven't you?
I don't know if I have.
You're going to love the way you look, I guarantee it. No, that's the Men's Warehouse. It's all over there on Radio Drive in Maplewood. Right.
Okay.
Maplewood Drive and Radio Drive and okay.
I've never been there. I don't know.
That's really local. I'm quoting old radio ads, and you're like, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not from here originally, Tim. So.
Well, it's okay. Never mind.
Is it old or is it new?
I'm just telling myself jokes now. It's always fun when
it's funny too.
It's always fun when it's a joke for one, right? Somebody out there will get it. So first responders were called to the 2100 block of Maplewood Drive North on a report of shots fired and found a 36-year-old who had been shot once in each leg.
Gosh.
So either somebody was really good, bing, bing, and shot real quick in succession, or someone took their sweet time.
Yeah, that's not an accident, though. That's for sure.
No, that's quite deliberate. Authorities say the shooting occurred at a wedding with around 100 people in attendance. So
wow,
they got a show.
That'd be traumatizing.
They got a show with the vows. Yeah. The suspect, whom law enforcement says was also involved in the wedding, left the scene before authorities got there. By the way, he hasn't been arrested yet.
He's just running around?
Yeah, he's just out and about the countryside doing his thing,
I'm glad he's up in your neck of the woods and not down in mine.
By the way, okay, so this weekend, speaking of your neck of the woods and mine, I was at U.S. Bank Stadium this weekend. I think I got something to lord over you here.
Oh,
so
what is it?
We're talking your neck of the woods and mine. My nephew plays. It's we used to call it parkboard ball. It's not called that anymore, but he's in middle school. Plays for Farmington. We played Lakeville North this weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
You crushed him.
No, you want to know what?
No.
It was 20-20 with 2 seconds left. And Farmington had the ball on the 2-yard line, drove it down to the 2-yard line, and it was 4th down. And I've got the highlight. I'll send it to you after we get off the show here. Farmington kicks a field goal. They thought they were going to run on 4th down and try to run it into the end zone, try and score a touchdown. I think they assumed they were going to stop. Lakeville North was going to stop them at the 2-yard line and go to overtime, right? They kicked a field goal, walk-off field goal, and won the game 23-20. Farmington did.
Good for the kicker. I love that.
Yeah, it was. I'm considering the age, right? I mean, it's a bunch of 8th graders. I believe it's 8th graders, 8th and 9th graders. Or no, it'd be 7th and 8th graders. I mean, it was exciting. And
That is exciting.
this kid nailed it, you know?
And in US Bank Stadium.
And in US.
That's the coolest part.
Right. So it was quite the exciting finish. And it was my uncle's, so it'd be my nephew's great uncle, my uncle Ron. It was his first time at the stadium. He had never been to a Vikings game there. It was his first time seeing kids play there. The first time he's ever been to the stadium. I said, I guarantee it'll be more exciting than any Vikings game you've ever been to. And sure enough, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, so and as I was sitting there, I told intern Yoko, I said, you know what? I think at one time, Jess's son probably played for this team.
Yeah, he did. He played in US Bank Stadium for the championships, for the state championships, and they won.
For the high school team. But I think this was like did he ever play for the...
Oh, the like extra team? He played for one. So yeah, maybe it was that one. I don't remember what the league was, but probably.
Right. And I'm trying to remember what, but you know what I'm talking about? Like it's not like park board ball, but it's, it's the equivalent of that's
it's like the off season football season, right?
Well, not the off season, but the, during the fall. I know we're taking up a lot of time with this, but during the fall, you sign them up for football,
Right.
It's through the school.
Oh, I don't remember that being a thing.
You don't remember that being a thing?
I feel like I would have signed him up if it would have been an option because he was so all about football, but
Okay.
Maybe I just didn't notice it.
They wear the colors and the jerseys and everything of Lakeville North.
Well, and I know my cousin's son plays on a team like that. So but he's in elementary school. I think he's a 5th grader now, but he might play up to 6th grade. And so they are doing that. They're playing at US Bank Stadium too. So I think it's probably the same league. But I don't know if they didn't have that when Logan was little, or I just was unaware.
Okay.
It's totally possible.
I thought maybe he did, but maybe he didn't.
No. He did another league that was kind of off season that he did for a couple of years, but
okay. Gotcha. All right. I was wrong.
But that sounds fun.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. Plus I had the best seats in US Bank Stadium for a football game I've ever had in my life. I mean, I'll never sit in those seats again for a football game, I'm sure.
No, probably not.
No. And the cheapest. So there you go. All right, our next story, now that I've yammered on again. Next story has to do with a felony plea and a wild tow truck repo rage. I have a friend, by the way, another friend. It's a lot of local shout outs today, isn't it? I have a friend that I grew up with by the name of Lonnie who does repo here in the cities.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about dangerous. He's told me some stories that'll curl your hair. I can't curl mine. I don't have any hair, right? But he's got stories. I mean, he's been shot at. He's had guys take swings at him. He's had knives pulled on him. Exciting stuff, right? I'm sure he's listening.
That's scary.
So, yeah. But the videos recorded a Brooklyn, New York vehicular mayhem. And let me tell you about this story here, Jess. It is insane. The New York man who stole a tow truck as its operator sought to repossess his vehicle and then proceeded to crash the Hot Wheels into an assortment of parked cars. As astonished witnesses recorded the automotive mayhem, has pleaded guilty to a felony charge. Did you get all that when I read it?
It was a lot, but yeah, I think I did.
Okay, I'm glad
you're an idiot.
Yes, he's an idiot, and I'm glad you followed along. In a deal with prosecutors, raging 56-year-old Russell Lyosa copped last week to a grand larceny charge stemming from a wild incident in Brooklyn's Sunset Park neighborhood. While Lyosa initially entered into a non-guilty plea to a host of charges, viral videos of the tow truck heist left him bereft of a defense for his furious September of 2024 rampage. Lyosa is scheduled to be sentenced on November 3rd for the third-degree felony. Only third degree. While the charge carries a maximum penalty of 7 years in prison, Lyosa's plea deal does not call for a term of incarceration, believe it or not, Instead, prosecutors have agreed to a sentence of 3 years probation and fines, and they want Leosa to complete an anger management course. I think that's probably prudent, right?
Yeah, bare minimum.
Yeah. As seen in one of the videos, one of which was recorded by a camera mounted on the tow truck, Leosa appeared on the street as his leased 2020 Chevrolet Silverado's rear wheels were being attached to the tow truck's arm. Let me show you a picture of this because just to give you an idea, Jess, and the people watching the video, that's what it looks like from the tow truck and its point of view right there. All right. So I'm going to try and clean this up because we're not for safe territory or not safe for work territory. He says, "Get the F out of here," Leosa yelled. "Put the truck down. I'm warning you, mother effer," with a fist balled up. Yeah. Leosa shoved tow truck driver Paul Corsello and forced his way into the vehicle. F him, nobody's taking this truck from me, Leosa said as he pulled away with the Silverado not fully secured to the Ford F450 tow truck. This is a huge tow truck that he's taking at the time.
That's a wild lack of impulse control. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm taking the entire deal. You're not taking my truck.
Like, yeah, you come into the situation, you're like, oh, this is bad. And his brain is like, can I make this worse?
Yeah, like nobody's taking it. No one's taking my truck. I'm taking yours, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
What a nut.
As Leosa made his getaway, careening the wrong way down 53rd Street in New York City.
He could have killed someone.
Yep. The Silverado driver's side door opened as the pickup hung precariously from the tow truck's arm. The door raked across a half dozen parked cars. So the door on the Silverado's hitting these cars as he's going by, these parked cars, as onlookers screamed. Fun.
Yikes. I don't feel like a third-degree felony is enough.
No, but he pleaded out.
He could have killed someone, a pedestrian, someone in one of the cars that he hit.
Yep. When Leosa tried to navigate a turn onto 2nd Avenue, the Silverado fell off the tow truck. It then rolled, Jess, and struck 2 more vehicles before coming to a stop in front of a city bus.
Oh my gosh.
You think he's getting off easy?
He is.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right.
With a wreckage field in the rear mirror, Leosa abandoned the stolen truck, or the stolen tow truck, rather, a few blocks away. Leosa, who lives in Long Island and runs an elevator inspection firm, was arrested several days later as the various videos went viral. Let me show you a picture of this guy as he's sitting in the truck. Here's Mr. Leosa right there.
He looks like he's like posing for a selfie. He's kind of cool looking.
Yeah, he kind of looks like...
He got his white t-shirt on, his sunglasses.
Do you remember the show The Shield?
Yes, he does look like the guy from The Shield.
Doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. Court records show that Leosa has been involved in a variety of legal actions: bankruptcy, foreclosure, unpaid bills, motor vehicle torts, and he also has a couple of prior arrests, that according to New York City police. Leosa was sued in 2020 for posting false, unprivileged, and defamatory statements on Facebook, accusing a man of being a neighborhood pedophile and predator. You probably don't want to do that if you don't have proof, right?
No.
The man targeted by Leosa was a retired cop engaged in an affair with Leosa's estranged wife. That's a little messy.
What a mess.
Yeah. In a court filing, Leosa blamed the plaintiff for the breakup of his 20-plus year marriage and oddly claimed that as a former lawman, the other man understood that sexual intercourse with another man's wife is a crime and punishable with imprisonment. This guy just seems like Messy is his middle name.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
instability. This is how he rolls.
Yeah. The defamation case was settled after Leosa agreed to stop posting his pedophile predator claims. In 2022, Leosa was divorced from his spouse, with whom he shares 4 daughters.
Oh, sad.
How would you like to go to the father-daughter dance with this guy?
No.
I mean,
he looks kind of cool.
He looks cool, but the minute he opens his mouth, hey, let me tell you about my daughter over here. I got to think he's loud. Just loud and obnoxious.
Definitely embarrassing in so many ways.
Speaking of loud, obnoxious, and probably in the wrong place at the wrong time, let's talk about some cops that are in the wrong place at the wrong time. Of course, Jess, we're going to Florida. We have to. It's required on this program multiple times during the program.
It's my favorite place to go on this program, Tim.
Oh boy, do I have I have a story later from Florida that is going to knock your socks off.
Oh, great.
Among other things. Deputies forced their way into the wrong home in Seminole County, and a body cam shows what happened next. Seminole County deputies barged into a home near Lake Mary in June, looking for a suspect for an alleged shoplifting incident. That's right, they broke into a home looking for an alleged shoplifter.
That's pretty aggressive. Usually they just let them walk out of the store.
Yeah, here in Minnesota, they carry big screen TVs out, 10 at a time, and they wave at them as they walk out of the store.
Like, oh, okay.
In Florida, evidently, they sent a task force to barge into your home if you have, I don't know, an article of clothing.
Yeah, stole a lipstick from Walmart. They're coming for you.
That's right. We are not the same state, evidently.
No, we are not.
No. No arrest was made, by the way, because an apparent miscommunication between the sheriff's office and Oviedo police led deputies to force their way into the wrong home. The family's attorney intends to sue in both federal and circuit courts. It was after 10 p.m. on Sunday at the home of Victor Gordillo Jr. and his wife Jennifer, along with their kids and relatives who were visiting, when deputies knocked on the door. Their body cameras were rolling. WESH2 Investigates obtained a copy of the videos that show what happened. Jennifer answered first with her husband behind her. Behind them were children and relatives, all looking at uniformed deputies. The entire incident was captured on body camera video. The situation quickly became tense when deputies asked Victor to step outside. Here's how the encounter went down. The deputy said, quote, "We've got to talk with you, Victor, about something." And he said, "Okay, and I'd rather just not do it in front of your family. We can just be right here." Jennifer Gordillo says, "About what? My husband is in the military." Deputy says, "I understand that, but if you could just come out here." Victor Gordillo says, "Nope, negative, thank you." Right, he's not coming out.
Right.
That's when deputies push their way through the door, not allowing it to close. Deputy says, "Okay, that's not how this works." Jennifer Gordillo says, "Hey, excuse me, you can't come in here." Victor Gordillo, a 20-year Army reservist, already suffers from multiple injuries and had just returned home from reserve duty, he told WESH2. He stood behind Jennifer as deputies moved farther into the front hallway of their home. Jennifer Gordillo at this point says, "Excuse me, you cannot." "Wait a minute," as she's yelling, says, "You cannot come into my home. What the blank?" I won't say what she said there. Deputy says, "You're being detained." And Jennifer Gordillo says, "For what?" Deputies wrestled Victor to the floor at this point, handcuffed him, which appeared to injure him, making it hard for him to move. He remained on the floor, confused about the chaotic entry into his home. It all started at the now closed Winn-Dixie supermarket at 1021 Lockwood Boulevard in Oviedo on June 8th, with a suspected shoplifting incident. According to the Oviedo police report, store managers reviewed surveillance video to confirm that an employee observed a man going into the frozen food section, grabbing 4 bags of shrimp, which were valued at $30 each, and leaving the store without paying. Video of the license tag on the suspect's car helped Oviedo police track down Victor Washington Gordillo, born in 1955, Gordillo Jr.'s father, who is 70 years old.
Oh, my.
Okay. The Seminole County incident report reads, Deputy Ramirez confirmed that with Oviedo Police Department that Victor Washington Gordillo, with a 1978 date of birth, was the suspect in question. The report does not indicate who Ramirez spoke with at the Oviedo Police Department to gain confirmation. But none of that mattered to the handcuffed crying man, his family shaken, his back and leg too numb to stand up. Not good. At one point, a sobbing Victor Gordillo Jr. said this of his leg, I can't even feel it. I can't even walk or nothing like this. Everyone is mortified, said Daniel Faherty, an attorney for the Gordillo family. He has notified both the city of Oviedo and the Seminole County Sheriff that he intends to file lawsuits. He added, I have never seen police barge into a house like that with nothing. We just want to ask you questions. Nearly half an hour after it started, police and deputies realized the mistake, and paramedics took Victor to a hospital for treatment. The sheriff's office says several deputies were reprimanded and received remedial training. The Seminole County Sheriff's Office says the deputies involved in the incident were reprimanded and retained, and the office declined to comment. Not good.
No, that's kind of a scary story.
Yeah, very much so. All right, from cops that made a huge mistake to a suspect that made an even bigger mistake because he confessed to AI.
Oh.
I'm going to show you a picture, Jess, of the young man who just couldn't keep his lips from flapping to his technology. He looks
Why
like
do you confess to AI?
he looks like he has a Leo Sayer afro, doesn't he?
He has a lot of hair going on, yeah.
Am I that old that I think everything now looks like a Leo Sayer afro? Is that just me?
You are, yes, sir.
Oh, gosh, that's horrible. Here's the headline. An accused vandal confessed to ChatGPT. A 19-year-old collegian told AI program he destroyed so many people's cars.
And why did he tell his AI that?
Guilty conscience? Maybe. Just minutes after vandalizing 17 cars in a Missouri college parking lot. That's right, Jess. 17 cars.
Wow, he did vandalize a lot of cars.
Yeah, he did. A 19-year-old sophomore had a lengthy ChatGPT conversation during which he confessed to the crime, asked about the possibility of getting caught, and wondered, is there any way they could know it was me, according to a police probable cause statement?
Yeah, dummy.
Yeah, because you told
Just look at this chat.
you told ChatGPT. Of course they're going to know it's you.
Oh, my.
Do kids really think there's a no snitch policy with ChatGPT?
They feel like they're best friends, you know?
Jeez.
It's his bestie.
It's my bestie. Ryan Schaefer was arrested and charged with felony property damage for a rampage early Sunday at a Missouri State University parking lot. Investigators allege that Schaefer shattered car windows, ripped off side mirrors, dented hoods, and broke windshield wipers during the 3 a.m. spree. Sexual tension?
Not cool. Yeah, really, why?
When confronted with surveillance footage and other evidence, Schaefer said that he could see the resemblance between the suspect and himself. At that point, Schaefer reportedly consented to a search of his iPhone. Oh, wrong move, buddy.
Oopsie doops.
Yeah. A subsequent review of the device revealed location data placing Schaefer at or near the scene of the crime, as well as a troubling dialogue exchange this defendant seems to have had with artificial intelligence software installed on his phone. God, dude. The incriminating ChatGPT conversation, filled with typos, opened with Schaefer asking, "How effed am I?" And kill, Qill, I go to jail. After,
oh, wow.
yeah, really bad.
Was he high when he...
I think he was, yeah. After the AI program gave tips about the potential outcome of getting caught or being involved in this kind of behavior, Schaefer typed, "What if I smash the shit out of multiple cars?"
And what did AI say?
After beginning to spiral, cops say, Schaefer began to become aggressive towards ChatGPT, saying, "I will kill all of you fikers."
Wow.
And that's F-I and then a space and then curs.
That's a new one.
Yeah. Fikers. So if you really lose your temper and you're somewhere in public, Jess, it's not mother bleepers, it's fikers.
Oh, it's bikers.
Yeah, you fikers, which kind of sounds like pikers, but it's fikers. It's more aggressive, right?
Yeah, it's definitely aggressive. You got to say it with an angry face too.
Yeah, you fikers. Yeah. Upon returning to his Springfield apartment, Schaefer began to wind down a bit and declared, "I got away with it last year, and I don't think there's any way that they could know my face." He added, "It felt really nice to hit up."
Is he not capable of typing swear words?
I don't think so, no. Acknowledging that he effed up all those useless effers' cars, Schaefer wrote that victims all deserve to get raped and murdered.
Wow, this guy is a psycho.
Yeah, he's got some issues. Schaefer is locked up in lieu of only $7,500 bond at the Greene County Jail. 17 cars.
That doesn't seem like enough.
Only gets you $7,500.
And zero remorse.
Yeah.
And he seems just like he hates everyone. He's like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, he's a little psychopath, but
Yikes.
And he did it last year. Yeah.
Oh my.
So he's not going to stop. Upon his release from custody, Schaefer will be barred from any premises, it says any premise, but I think they mean premises, where the primary item for sale is alcoholic beverages, and he will be required to comply with random testing for drugs and alcohol. The collegian will also have to be outfitted with a GPS electronic monitoring device. So there you go. Missouri, you're now on the clock. Because once that kid gets free, all bets are off. Speaking of drinking and doing bad things, I believe, are we staying in Missouri? No, we're going to Virginia for this one. We go from collegian to prosecutor. I'm going to show you a picture of this prosecutor right here who made just a bad move. Jess, this one right here.
Okay, what did he do?
Oh, let me tell you. This one, my friend, is a doozy. Sometimes prosecutors, let's just say, have a little too much to drink and then think they can use their position to get out of it. The quote is, "This looks terrible." Body cam shows a Fairfax County prosecutor cited for drinking and trying to get out of it. Newly released body cam footage from the Fairfax County Police Department reveals that during an August 8th police call when Senior Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Eric Klingon was cited for drinking in public, officers did not make Klingon perform a sobriety test and provided the prosecutor with a ride home from in the front seat of a police cruiser.
That was nice of them.
That was.
Uber ride.
Yeah. 57-year-old Klingon was served with a summons for drinking an alcoholic beverage in public, which is a Class 4 misdemeanor, and released after the incident in early August. Shortly after 8 a.m. on August 8th, police responded to a call from an employee of an animal hospital in the 5000 block of Westfields Boulevard in Centerville. The dispatcher who sent the officers to the scene that day said a caller had reported a man drinking a beer and smoking cigarettes in an alleyway behind the strip mall. The caller reported the man had 2 beers sitting on top of the vehicle and informed the dispatcher he was there almost every day.
Wow, so this is just a normal day for him.
Life is tough, I guess, for the prosecutor, isn't
Weird.
it? Yeah. You know, life's tough when you're prosecuting criminals, I guess. Minutes after receiving that dispatch, Fairfax County police officer Henry Vire pulled his car into the alleyway behind an animal hospital in Sully Station Shopping Center, only to find Klingon with one empty beer bottle on the hood of his car and another empty of the same brand sitting on a dumpster in front of his vehicle. Vire appeared to recognize Klingon immediately as the two men had the following exchange. The officer said, "Are you an attorney?" Klingon said, "I am." Officer said, "Commonwealth?" And Klingon goes, "Uh-oh," and then he laughs. When asked by Vire, Klingon initially denied he had been drinking, according to the body cam footage reviewed by the I-Team. He later told another officer at the scene he'd consumed one beer, a high alcohol content IPA, according to police. Klingon denied consuming the empty beer of the same brand sitting directly in front of the vehicle on a dumpster. "How many of those have you had?" the officer asked Klingon in the video. "Just that one right there," Klingon responded, pointing to the bottle on the hood of the vehicle. Ultimately, 4 Fairfax County police officers arrived at the scene because, you know, it's a major crime to have a drunk prosecutor. And it was clear from the body cam footage that they knew where Klingon worked. At one point, Klingon handed an officer his business card. Klingon has been with the Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office since October of 2021 and has worked on some of the county's highest profile cases, including as lead prosecutor in the highly publicized Au Pair Affair double murder trial involving suspect Brendan Banfield, scheduled to begin next month. He had told the officers who questioned him that he had stopped behind the strip mall to check his email on his way to work and wanted to carry on with his day. So, you know, just checking the old email and having a brewski, you know?
Yeah, you know, no big deal.
Hitting a couple of heaters, having a brewski, checking the old email.
Trying to get some work done.
Yeah, getting some work done. Klingon had said, "I'm going to head to work and forget about this." Oh, but they're not.
Oh, no.
But it soon became apparent to Klingon that he wasn't going to be driving anywhere by himself. Body cam footage shows Vire walking to an area several feet from Klingon out of earshot. "This is a Commonwealth attorney that's drunk," Vire told his supervisor on the phone. "Jesus, it's 8 a.m., the supervisor replied. During the same phone call, the supervisor asks if Klingon is obviously drunk or just seems drunk. "He's not plastered drunk, but you can definitely smell alcohol coming off his breath," Vire replied. Another officer was instructed to circle back with the employee of the animal hospital who made the initial call to report the incident. The caller informed the officer, "This is like the 4th or 5th time that we've seen him." "4th or 5th this week, or is it randomly?" the officer asked. The caller explained Klingon has been seen multiple times over the course of the previous month. 5 different employees at the businesses within the strip mall told 7 News they'd also seen Klingon on several occasions, drinking and smoking in the parking lot during weekdays in the early morning hours, around 7:30 or 8 a.m., dressed in what appeared to be business attire. None of the employees would provide their names for publication. A third officer addressed Klingon, at one point telling him, "I think my biggest concern is you're going to go to work intoxicated and then try to prosecute these cases on behalf of us."
Well, that's wild. He's just going to show up in court drunk?
Yeah. Klingon then said to the officer, "Well, I'm not in court today and I'm not intoxicated." Like, it's all right. You know, I'm not
Big deal.
I'm not going to court. Minutes later, Klingon appeared to grasp the gravity of the moment. He told the police in the video, "This looks terrible and I get it." Like, okay, today it's, you know, I'll clean it up tomorrow. Right.
Yeah, he clearly has a serious drinking problem, though. That's sad.
Yeah. Vire, the first officer on the scene, is assigned to Sully District Police Station. He reached out to his major, Jane Russell, for instructions on how to proceed. "I don't feel comfortable with him driving," Vire said, while speaking to his major. "I don't even feel comfortable with him walking." Boy, that's bad.
Pretty drunk.
Yeah. Vire then informed Klingon that He was instructed to drive Klingon home. Klingon, whose car was parked with the keys out of the ignition, was never given a sobriety test. He then asked for special treatment. I prefer to be in the front, Klingon told Vire, indicating that he did not want to be spotted in the back of a police car.
Oh, I'm sure not. Boy.
Yeah.
That'll get the people talking.
When asked if it was standard practice to allow individuals to be driven home in the front seat of police cruisers, a spokesperson for the Fairfax County Police told 7 News officers ensured Mr. Klingon was safely transported home prior to the service of the warrant. Our officers routinely use discretion to prioritize community safety and ensure individuals are not left in situations that could put themselves or others at risk. Real quick before we get to the next story, after the roughly 6-minute drive to his neighborhood, Klingon asked for another favor from police. While portions of the audio are edited, it's clear from the body cam footage that Klingon wanted police to wait for his wife to leave the house so she didn't see him getting dropped off by police.
Oh my goodness.
So please don't tell my wife I'm drunk.
I'm going to be in so much trouble.
She is going to kill me if she knows you brought me home and I didn't make it to work because, I'm schnockered.
Yeah, because I'm drinking it on my vehicle while I check my emails.
I doubt he was even checking the emails. He's probably just so like, weird. I hate my life. But if you think that's bad, Jess, we're going to stay in the Florida area, Palm Coast, Florida. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm going to ask you this. Recently, by the way, congratulations on the magazine article.
Oh, thank you.
And I know you had hair and makeup done for the article, right?
I did.
Okay. How fast did you drive to get your hair and makeup done?
Just a normal speed, Tim.
You didn't speed to get to the appointment?
No, not at all.
Weren't in a hurry at all?
No, I gave myself plenty of time.
Good for you. And as you should. It's only proper to do so. Well, one person in Florida decided that they were in a hurry to get to their barber. Such a hurry, in fact, they had to break the speed limit. Twice the speed limit.
Oh, that's quite fast.
Yeah. A Florida driver was pulled over for going 107 miles per hour.
Wow.
And when he was pulled over by police, he told them he was trying to make an appointment with his barber. That is one good haircut.
That is fast. I feel like I've only driven not quite that fast, but maybe borderline that fast when I had the wrong call time for Ella. I thought her show started like half an hour later. So she was getting to the Guthrie Theater actually a half an hour late.
Oh my God.
I never drove so fast in my life.
How fast did you get?
Maybe, 105, maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm just guessing. I was flying by everyone in the fast lane. I was driving like such a jerk. I hated myself, but.
Nice.
Then I was crying. I'm like, I'm the worst theater mom ever.
I applaud you. It's good. You got the car.
I got her there.
Got the car up to 105. Nice.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing it was 105. It was fast.
Nice. Dash camera and body camera video of the traffic stop released by the Flagler County Sheriff's Office shows the driver, 57-year-old Michael Stanek, racing down the highway before he being signaled to pull over by law enforcement. After requesting that he exit the vehicle, the deputy is then heard asking Stanek why he was going so fast, to which he replies, I have an appointment with my barber in New Smyrna. You don't understand. If I don't make the appointment,
obviously,
they bump me and it's another couple of weeks.
My hair will be all disheveled. I'll be a mess.
I don't look good with longer hair. In Florida, motorists caught driving over the speed limit by 50 miles per hour or at speeds of 100 miles per hour or more are considered super speeders and can face jail time.
Ooh.
Yeah. According to police, Stanek was taken to the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility. That's a mouthful. where he was later released on how much bond, Jess?
8,000. Is that too high?
Way too high. I'll give you
800.
I'll give you one more swing. Lower it even more.
Really? Lower than 800?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 500.
150 bucks.
What?
Yes. It's not even worth it to take the guy in.
Why even bother?
I don't get it.
I mean, that's so dangerous. And I'm joking. I really wasn't going over 100 miles an hour. I was probably doing 85, but it felt like 100. It felt like such a jerk. And it's scary. Like, I can't imagine going 107 miles an hour. I'd lose control. I'd roll it. I'd be in the ditch.
Not even going to tell you how fast I drive.
You don't go that fast. Oh.
Let's just say I'm a skilled driver.
Oh, so you could drive a race car.
I could be a race car driver even at my advanced age. NASCAR or funny car, I could do it. Telling you.
I want to see it.
You want to see it? I'll
be in your pit crew. I'll change your tire.
I'll take you for a ride sometime. Take you for a ride in the cities at rush hour.
Oh Lord.
You'll be like, never again.
Be curled up in the back seat in the fetal position.
You'll look at me a whole different way.
Sucking my thumb.
A driver who probably isn't as skilled as me decided they were going to pull one of them Duke Boys maneuvers.
Ooh, I used to love that show.
You remember the in the opening where the General Lee would take off and do that jump?
Yes.
They clear that jump pretty easily.
Did someone do that in real life?
Yeah, but they didn't clear the jump. It's a sad story, really. We shouldn't laugh, but a New Jersey driver was killed in a high-speed crash on an open drawbridge.
Oh no!
So the drawbridge opens, Jess. You see, I'm doing if you're watching the video, open.
Yeah.
See the drawbridge is opening, and the guy goes, "I can make it! I can make it! I can make it!"
Oh
yeah.
No!
That trick never works, Jess.
That was a bad idea.
Real life isn't Hollywood, because when you take off on that drawbridge, you can never get enough speed to jump to the other side. You would need to. Your car doesn't go that fast with the weight that your car weighs.
No, you have to be a stuntman and you have to have like all of this. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's not real.
It is. You have too much weight on your car in order to jump a car across a drawbridge.
I can't believe that person did that. That's
you have to take
what
off.
A way to go.
You have to take off from like a mile and a half away in order to clear a drawbridge. You just can't. Yeah. A South Jersey man died early on Sunday after his car struck a drawbridge linking the Garden State and Pennsylvania while the drawbridge was closing, authorities said. 20-year-old Ethan Knorr of Cherry Hill was returning to New Jersey from Philadelphia around 3:19 a.m. when his car sped through the... Forgive me, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right because, again, I'm not on the East Coast. Tacony-Palmyra Bridge and its warning gates, striking the portion of the span that raises and lowers, allowing boats to pass beneath. Burlington County Bridge Commission police said. Knorr's vehicle passed warning lights. A police car at the time. Does that make sense? Knorr died at the scene, they said. Knorr's vehicle, and let me say, passed warning lights and a police car at the time. It struck the bridge. That doesn't make sense. Knorr's car was traveling at a high rate of speed when it crashed, police said. The bridge carries traffic from Route 73 in Burlington County to northern Philadelphia and provides access to Interstate 95. The bridge was closed to investigators and later reopened after officials deemed it was not damaged. No other cars, passengers, or motorists were involved in the crash. According to police, the crash remained under investigation as of Tuesday. Yeah, you don't want to jump anything. Just don't do it, kids.
No.
No.
Just pull over.
Just pull over.
Get cuffed. Go
That's
spend the night in prison. It's fine. It's no big deal.
That's right. All right, with that, Jess, it's time now for our not safe for work portion of our program. Again, if you've got kids in the room, I've tried to be good today. We have a lot of questionable stories. It's time now to earmuffs, just earmuffs and get them out of the room. If you're in front of your boss or at work, earmuffs on the boss and get him out of the room, and earmuffs on your fellow employees and get them out of the room, or just put earphones on or earbuds in. We'll do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Oh boy, we're starting it off with an airline story right away, Jess. It's time now for airline stories. This one's unusual. A woman was arrested for sexual battery and assault on a flight out of Salt Lake City.
Okay.
I rarely use the term "this took talent."
When you're referring to a sexual battery and assault.
Yeah, for this woman to get arrested on these charges, but this took talent.
Okay. I can't wait to hear this one.
Because she almost got away. I mean, she was on her way off the plane and almost out of the airport.
Okay. And then, she did it on the way out?
She had to shoot her mouth off.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, we go to Salt Lake City. A woman was taken into custody and arrested after she allegedly sexually assaulted a Delta employee on a flight out of Salt Lake City International Airport. Cody Sierra Marie Byrne, who's all of 31 years old, faces numerous charges, including sexual battery, assault, and public intoxication. Oh, I'm sorry. Was she getting on the flight or getting off? Byrne was boarding a flight from Salt Lake City to Portland on Wednesday when she refused to move from the aisle of the airplane after being directed to do so multiple times. When Byrne did move, she allegedly pushed a Delta employee into a seat with her shoulder. That's the first mistake. Following the incident, the pilot of the Delta flight immediately ordered Byrne to be removed from the plane. Okay, so she's getting off the plane. As Byrne was being escorted off the plane, she attempted to run into a secured area of the airport. While being stopped by employees, Byrne is accused of grabbing the neck of one employee and pushing their head towards the ground and pulling their hair.
Oh, that's so aggressive.
She's getting extra here, right?
Mm.
After Byrne released her grip on the employee, she allegedly walked back up and grabbed the woman's breast with her hand.
What?
Yeah. The employee stated Byrne squeezed and twisted her breast while saying, "If I ever find you alone, bitch." Court documents showed. Yeah, right?
That's crazy.
Getting extra, right?
That is straight up nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine.
Getting really extra with everything.
I'm just sitting here covering my chest because
Right?
I just,
You're like,
no.
Yee, right? I mean, you're just doing your job. You're like, whoa, let go of her hair. And she comes up, she grabs the left one and tries to tune in Tokyo, right? And you're like, whoa! Like, why?
Hitty twister. That's crazy.
Right? Byrne let go of the Delta employee and ran towards the airport exit at this point. She was attempting to go book a flight with another airline when she was located by officers who attempted to place her under arrest. So at this point, she's like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. I only pulled the hair of one, put someone's face down to the ground and, twisted a tit. Now I'm going to go book another flight.
It's another day.
It's another day in my world.
Wow.
Byrne resisted being taken into custody at this point and tried to pull away from the officer, leading to the need for 2 officers to put her in handcuffs.
I am not surprised she resisted arrest.
Not at all. According to court documents, Byrne denied assaulting the airline employee or grabbing her breast, although she admitted to having been drunk earlier in the morning.
How does being drunk make you behave like that? It just blows my mind.
Some people, they call it pissy fuel. You put a little in them, and they're off and running. Right?
So weird. I just want to hug everyone.
Yeah, well, these people know. No, it's not huggy fuel. No. Quite the opposite. Byrne was unable to hold an intelligible conversation. She had the odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from her person, had difficulty following directions, and needed assistance with walking, according to the documents.
Oh, no.
She couldn't walk, but she sure as well could wind up on a tit, right?
Yeah. She was wrestling in that plane. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. It turns out if you need a mystery solved in our next story, you just need to go to Chicago. They can solve any mystery you have out there, Jess, including if someone should assault you with dog poop, they got it covered.
Ooh.
They know how to get it done. A video shows a woman in Chicago wiping dog poop on a Cybertruck, and sleuths there say they found her. Let's get down to business, shall we?
Let's get down.
A man visiting Chicago says a woman wiped dog poop on his Tesla Cybertruck, likely unaware that the car has several cameras and captured everything.
Oh, no.
Just so you know, this is what the offender has been blurred out for privacy reasons, I guess.
Oh, God.
That's what the Cybertruck looks like.
I feel like if you do that, you don't deserve to be blurred out. Just let us see her.
Right, yeah. You should probably be shown to the world. It's crazy that something like this upsets somebody so much that they decided, I'm going to ruin that person's day, said John Evans. Well, the shoe is on the other foot now, he said. Evans is visiting Chicago from Savannah, Georgia, for a conference. On Wednesday, he parked his Cybertruck, which is covered in an American flag decal, in the North Alstead neighborhood. On the tailgate in gold leaf, there's a representation of the signature of President Trump, Evans said. And I think that may have further inflamed, this is his quote now, not mine. Evans said, and I think that may have further inflamed the mental illness of the person that decided to do this to my vehicle. Oh, here's the picture right there. He's got President Trump's signature right there on the back of the Cybertruck.
What do you know? Isn't that fancy?
Isn't it fancy? It's in gold. Evans posted the images of the woman on the social platform X, and by next morning, internet users claimed to have identified her and a business she's allegedly associated with. Then online sleuths began leaving negative reviews about the business. I think that America is happy to help other Americans with accountability for bad actors, Evans said.
I think we've just lost our minds. I think that's more accurate.
Why would you? Evans says he did not file a police report because he feels like the public backlash is punishment enough and believes the police department can use their time focusing on more serious crimes.
Translate that to mean they wouldn't have done anything really, and this is a better way to ruin her life. It's much swifter. Humanity is cruel right now, Tim.
They are, yeah. There's a little bit more to this story. Fox 32 reached out to the business allegedly tied to the woman, but has not yet heard back. The station is not naming her or showing her face because she has not been charged with a crime, which makes sense.
Yeah, so they can't.
Right. When asked what Evans would say to the woman responsible, he replied, I would say we are Americans. You have an obligation to do better. When you do something like this, you're making the problem worse. Moving forward, Evans says he hopes people from both sides of the political aisle can learn to get along better. I agree. You don't have to smear dog feces on someone's property. Right?
Definitely not. Not acceptable.
Not acceptable. Exactly. Doesn't matter who they're representing.
Doesn't matter who signed it.
That's right. All right. I told you I had some disturbing stories for you. Now, Jess,
are they going to get bad?
Oh, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Although our palate cleanser, Jess, is a story of how tough Aussies really are, to give you a little bit of a
Okay.
teaser. Okay, how tough Aussies really are. So keep that in mind as I read you this next story. All right? Keep that in mind. Our next story tells you just exactly how insane Pasco County, Florida, and those Floridians really are. All right? Now,
Should be good.
keep in mind, this kid right here has relatives that used to live in Pasco County. I myself, with these two eyes, have seen the insanity that is Pasco County. In fact, friend, good brother, Rocky Stucci is right in the middle of the madness that is Pasco County right now.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, I like to throw him a lifeline and just say, hey, I think I can get you out of there, brother. No. That's okay. It's okay. I'm surviving. I'm doing okay. I don't believe it for a minute.
Yeah, you're like, just send a signal up and smoke if you need me, and I'll be right there.
That's right. We'll get you out of there. Let me tell you just how crazy it is right now in Pasco County. From the Tampa Bay Times, Pasco man arrested after eating pet peacocks. Normally I don't report on these kind of stories, but I have to tell you how insane Pasco County. He told the deputies he killed and ate the birds because his neighbor wouldn't stop feeding them. Keep in mind,
Weird reason.
right, keep in mind, these are his peacocks. He killed them and ate them because his neighbor was feeding them.
Hold on. 1 and 1 equals 5.
Are you following along?
That's what this story is.
Right. A Florida man is accused of killing and eating 2 of his pet peacocks. Officials say that Craig Vogt of Hudson they charged him with aggravated cruelty resulting in excessive pain or death. Vogt told Pasco County deputies he killed and ate the birds because his neighbor wouldn't stop feeding them.
Well, that'll teach his neighbor.
Now, the unusual part of this, Jess, is not that he killed and ate peacocks. That's a normal thing in Florida.
They eat peacocks in Florida?
Yeah, not an unusual thing. That's not a crime. No.
Are they like chickens down there? I mean,
I have no idea. I don't want to eat one. I don't
either. They're too pretty.
Yeah. Now, he wrote his neighbor a letter admitting to the deed. So he admitted it to the neighbor. Dear neighbor, Nayber, neighbor, I done killed, Kilt, my birds, BERDZ, 'cause you done fed them too much. He wrote that letter. Yeah. So he wrote his neighbor a letter admitting to the deed and threatened to continue the behavior if she wouldn't stop feeding them. He's got more cocks and he'll kill them.
You want to kill all your own cocks. That's terrible.
Yeah, and then eat them. He'll eat his own cock in a minute. Don't think he won't.
Just to spite his neighbor.
Just to spite his neighbor.
I'll show her.
The 61-year-old told deputies he cooked the birds in a frying pan and would kill all of his pet peacocks to prevent anyone from taking custody of them.
Sounds like he's a little paranoid.
You think?
A little not quite right in the head.
That's the story, Jess. That's a Pasco County resident for you.
That's the story. Wow.
Isn't that fun?
It was different.
If you ever want to crawl inside the head of Florida man, you just did.
It's really scary in there, Tim.
Isn't it?
I'm not going to lie.
Don't you feel like you need to bathe in bleach?
Read my Bible.
Read your Bible.
Go do good deeds for people.
Yep. Do good deeds for a stranger. Maybe go work at a soup kitchen for the day.
Wow.
Yep.
That's such a funny way to look at life.
Yeah.
What a strange thing to do.
You done fed my birds too much. I'm going to kill them and eat them.
Yeah, he's going to kill them all, Tim.
I'm going to kill all my cocks. You don't touch them.
Your face when you said that. I hope everyone watches the video.
Look.
Oh, it's so, yes, you're like twinning. You and Charles Manson. Wow.
I'm going to kill all my cocks. So you don't touch them.
Oh, my.
Ultimate Florida man. Right here.
Is he from Florida?
No. I'm just saying he would have been. Oh, wait. I just hit the Flash Gordon theme. I didn't mean to. Okay. Next story. I think we're 2 stories away from our palate cleanser. So bear with me.
Okay.
It only escalates from here, Jess.
All right. We're killing our cocks. What's next?
Killing our cocks. We're staying in Florida. We're going to Melbourne, where a man accused of touching a woman and exposing himself. He did it all in a Dollar Tree in Melbourne.
Oh,
You ever go to
that tracks.
Yeah, you ever go to a Dollar Tree and just hope for more than a good bargain?
I do not go there hoping to be touched or flashed.
Okay, neither do I. But in Florida, you get more than just day-old moon pies. That's for sure. A man is accused of touching a woman and exposing himself inside a Dollar Tree in Melbourne, Florida, according to police. Blake Walker Jones is arrested on Tuesday following an investigation into lewd conduct. Let me show you what a Blake Walker Jones looks like. He looks like the dictionary. Oh, here we go. Dictionary definition of skeevy. Don't you think?
I mean, is it the beard that makes it look so creepy?
I think everything.
Is that like a really light mustache?
It is. Yes, it is.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
Get like really up in here to see it. It's so real.
Yeah. And his
It's like a light blonde mustache and a red beardish thing going on.
Yeah. You know what he looks like? He looks like Sam Darnold's slow cousin. That's what he looks like.
Absolutely, his twin.
Yeah, he's Sam Darnold's slow cousin. That's what he looks like. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. That's all I got. I have no other insults.
He's a disturbed young man.
Yeah. Getting back to it now, Blake Walker Jones was arrested on Tuesday following an investigation into lewd conduct. Jones was reported to have touched one woman and committed lewd acts towards 2 separate women on July 20th inside the Dollar Tree on North Wickham Road. Police said he returned to the same location on August 18th, because he's not that bright, where he allegedly committed additional lewd acts. Jones was charged with felony battery due to prior convictions and exposure of sexual organs. You're welcome, America. I don't know what else to say as far as that goes. It's the gift that keeps on going. You just
It really is.
Yeah, go to the Dollar Tree and get more than what you bargained for. All right. And finally, this man evidently, when he went to the adult novelty shop, thought, man, that's hot. That's really hot. He didn't think that the stuff in the shop was hot. He meant, I'm going to set it on fire and make it really hot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he set fire to these shops and made it hot.
Because they were naughty and he didn't like that?
I guess, yeah, he had a little bit of a problem with it. Man set fire to 2 adult novelty shops on Wednesday. He was a busy firebug.
2 in one day?
Yeah, over 2 hours. A 48-year-old man ignited adult airport video and the love zone with occupants inside, Jess.
Oh, that's not good.
No. We go to Everett, Washington. where law enforcement arrested a 48-year-old man in connection with arson at 2 adult novelty shops over the course of 2 hours on Wednesday in Snohomish County. Make sure I get that right. Around 7:44 p.m. on Wednesday, the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a fire, and then they sang the song by that band, the Fire, dun, 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 and then they put it out. Yeah. At the front entrance,
stomping their feet and dancing.
Yeah, by stomping their feet and dancing. At the front entrance of Adult Airport Video, located in the 1100 block of Airport Road. You know, if it were like the old days where they had the little machines where you could turn the crank and watch the videos, you would have had a whole line of guys who could have put it out by themselves. Just saying. The reporting party told the deputy that they were near the sales register when they heard the sound of footsteps walking up to the store and liquid being poured before the fire broke out. Are you sure that's what the sound was? Security footage showed a man with a ponytail wearing a jacket, blue jeans, tan boots, and a blue backpack carrying a gasoline can up to the front of the business, court documents say. The suspect entered the front door and tipped the container over, dumping a large portion of the liquid onto the floor. How would you like to be that clerk that's working there? You see a guy come in, start tipping a gas can in the front of the store. You're like, you know what? Here's a mop. You're going to clean that up. Oh, shit. And then he pulls out the match.
In the middle of the day, that's ballsy. Like, he's not even trying to pretend he's not doing it. He's just like, I'm just going to light this bitch on fire.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'm gonna burn you up now. After the can was out of the footage's frame, well, then flames engulfed the area. The suspect could be seen running away with the flames igniting the bottom of his boots.
Ooh.
So those boots were made for burning, and that's just what they'll do. At the time of the fire, there were several customers in the adult theater section of the building. So, yes, there is that section of the building.
Oh, and they were, just preoccupied, not even noticing.
They could have put the fire out easily. At 9:50 p.m. Wednesday, the Everett Police Department responded to reports of a man matching the suspect's description setting fire to the door of the Love Zone. You don't have to be alone in the Love Zone. Am I the only one who knows that song? But when I read it, it hits my head. Located in the 5,000 block of Evergreen Way, the owner was in the back office at the time of the fire. What was he doing back there?
We don't want to know, Tim.
Oh, okay. Sorry. When contacted by law enforcement at a nearby Value Village parking lot, the suspect allegedly threw a metal stick at a deputy and attempted to run away.
Where did he get a metal stick?
I don't know.
You just see him flicking his wrist.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine that that's very menacing, right? I mean, this guy has set fire to 2 stores, and all he had for the cops was a metal stick.
A metal stick.
Yeah.
Like a metal chopstick?
Yeah, I have no idea. Law enforcement booked the suspect into Snohomish County Jail on suspicion of possessing a controlled substance with knowingly no prescription. Where do you get a prescription for gas?
He must have had something else in his pocket.
Oh, we're talking pills.
Drugs.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, he's burning down porn shops because he's like offended by them, but he's a druggie.
Yeah.
How does that work?
No idea. Maybe he had some. Maybe he had Xanax on him. Maybe you should be taking the Xanax.
Get the speck out of your own eye, buddy. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, that's right. 2 counts of arson, burglary, and resisting arrest. Oh, he fought back. The estimated damage to the Love Zone, you don't have to be alone, is between $2,500 to $3,000, according to court documents. No estimate on the first place that he burned. Although I think that clerk, I almost said clerk of court, that clerk had to be shocked.
I mean, scary.
Yeah. I got a little story for our last story here, Jess. Sometimes when I'm sitting and gathering these stories, I say to myself, God, I need a story that'll top this newscast off. I need a story that's a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I need that home run that I can hit, that walk-off home run where I can flip my bat up in the air, put my hands up to the sky and go, how do you like me now? And then he delivers.
That's
right?
so nice. I'm so glad God delivered on that prayer. I can't wait.
Today, it was like a lightning bolt from the blue. And he said, oh, you want that story? You want that story? You want to see me? You want to see me in action? I got one for you. Not only that, I'm going to send you right back to Florida.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to put you right in the middle of DeLand, Florida. And not
I feel
only
like God made Florida for us.
I think he did, yeah.
Really?
He's like, I'm going to send you right back to the pit. Yeah. Let me show you a picture of our offender today, Jess. Here she is right here. Two-tone hair and all.
Okay.
There she is.
I'm digging her hairstyle. Yeah,
She looks a little angry, doesn't she?
she does.
All
I
right.
would not mess with her.
What if I told you she was a firefighter, speaking of fires?
Ooh, I can see that.
Okay. Now, this angry young lady had a score to settle. She's been wronged. Her ex-boyfriend is dating a new woman.
Oh, bad choice.
Yeah, right? Right? Lovely young woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But her ex-boyfriend made the mistake of dating a new woman. Now, let me ask you, Jess, what's the worst thing you've done in a fit of anger over an ex?
I have done nothing. I don't have anything.
Really? You've never been jealous over an ex? Never just been like, oh, I miss him so bad, I'm going to kill that bitch.
No, I don't.
No?
I really have no frame of reference. I dated my husband in high school and then I married him.
Damn, girl.
I don't have an ex.
You just kind of snapped him up, didn't you? And that was it, huh?
I know.
Put him
There
on
were a lot
lock.
to choose from, in small town Iowa. So,
You just put him on lock and that was it. All right.
I'm like, he's mine.
Okay.
How about you? What have you done?
I killed a guy. No, I'm kidding. I just figured I'd go that extreme and just see
We're
what you
learning
said.
so many things about you
Yeah,
today, Sam.
drive too fast. I could drive NASCAR. I killed a guy. No, really not to this extreme that I'm about to read. No.
I don't get angry anyway, so I can't imagine.
Oh, I've been hurt. I've been
Yeah.
incredibly hurt and angry. But it's just one of those things where what are you going to do, right? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I had a...
Move on.
Yeah, I mean, you have to move on. What can you do, right? I mean, that person chose to walk away, right? So what are you going to do? Yeah, I mean, you can't keep them. They don't want to
No.
be there. They don't want to be with you.
Then why would you want to keep someone who doesn't want you? Like,
That's right. That's right.
You're too good for that.
Well, I don't know that I thought that at the time, but but they don't want you. So if they don't want
Right.
you, you can't keep them around, right? That's the idea. Well, this firefighter wanted to send a message. What message she was sending, I don't know. But let me tell you what the message was, Jess. Here's the headline. Firefighter dumps 75 possibly used tampons on ex's lawn for dating a new girl.
Oh, nasty. Are you saving those up for months? Like,
Yeah.
or where do you get them?
Well, she's creative.
Gross.
Well, she's... We go to DeLand, Florida, where a firefighter was accused of stalking after she allegedly dumped 75 quote-unquote possibly used tampons onto her ex-boyfriend's lawn when she learned that he was dating a new woman. Whew. Well, we all have our breaking point. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office was contacted by a woman on September 30th after she and her boyfriend woke up to find a pile of tampons on their front lawn that were stained red as if they were possibly used, according to a probable cause arrest affidavit.
I think they would stink. Not to be disgusting, but
Police
I
reviewed.
feel like you just know they were used just by breathing in.
Maybe they didn't want to get that close, right? You know?
I would have been like, are these used?
Breathe deep and let's find out. But I hate to get gross about it, but yeah, I mean, you know, I'd probably keep a safe distance and go, you know.
I'd have got right in there. I'd have been like moving them around, sniffing them.
I would have been like, you know what? I think I get the idea. Yeah.
Is this ketchup or no? This is blood.
I think she's calling me a rag. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. No, I get it. She's calling me a bloody rag. Police reviewed security camera recordings that showed a pickup truck driving past the house at around 10 p.m. on September 29th. A woman allegedly sat in the truck bed until traffic cleared, at which point she jumped out and threw 75 tampons onto the front yard.
You can't get away with this stuff anymore. Why do we even try? You're going to be caught on camera.
I give her style points.
I mean, yeah, she's probably not thinking it through. She's just seeing red, literally.
Yeah, she is.
And if those are all hers, she's probably having a really terrible day because that's a lot of tampons.
You want to talk about heavy flow, sister? Holy shit.
Oh, man.
When the couple was asked who they believed was behind the crime, they reportedly both pointed the finger at Gabrielle Franz, a firefighter with Orange County Fire and Rescue, and the ex-girlfriend of the man living in the home. They said it was likely her demonstrating she was unhappy that her ex-boyfriend was dating a new person.
That's an understatement.
Unhappy. That's like saying the Grand Canyon's a small hole out in the desert. They claim she previously made multiple social media posts talking badly about them and the fact that they are now together. When police confronted Franz at her home, she initially said that she did not know where her ex lived, but eventually admitted to committing the act, but said it was not her idea. Instead, placing the blame on her mother and aunt, who came from out of town and made the plan for her.
I can actually see that.
So mom and auntie are sitting around and going, you know something, dear, you know what would be hysterical? Follow me on this. We did this back in the 20s. All right, we're going to get together. Now, keep in mind, I'm way past this point in my life. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to get together and gather all the used tampons we can find. 75 is a good number. Good number to start with. Then we're going to put them all in a huge pile in the middle of the yard. Who? What?
That's icky. That's a bad plan. There are better plans.
What message does that send, really? She also said that while the pair were in town, all three of them, they purchased tampons and painted them red, Jess.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Whoo.
I feel much better now that I was wading through them and holding them and smelling them. It's just paint.
Yeah, it's just paint.
I knew it all along.
Woo. They painted them red to make them look like they'd been used. Then the trio drove to the ex-boyfriend's house and dumped the tampons.
I can actually see my mom and my aunt and I doing this. I mean, not that I would do it, but I can see them coming up with a plan and being like, we got to do this. You got to get back at him. And I'd be like, no, that's wrong. And then I'd talk them off the ledge so I can actually see this conspiracy happening in my world.
Police then arrested Franz and charged her with 2 counts of misdemeanor stalking, saying the incident was done with the sole purpose to harass her ex and serves no legitimate purpose.
No, try to come up with a logical reason for that. You can't come up with an excuse for that. Nope, I got nothing.
Cotton Awareness Day? There's one. There is one comment here I think you would laugh at.
Okay.
Nunjabish says, I guess dirty tampons are better than positive pregnancy tests,
Whoa.
which would have been even more classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that was a better idea.
That is a better idea. See, that would have been funny.
Yep.
But, who are we to say?
I mean, yeah. Well, I guess, if either of us ever need to get back at an ex,
we have
a better plan.
We have ideas. All right, with that, it's time now for our palate cleanser. We're going to need one after that. Although we're not going to stray too much from the not safe for work for this first one, but we are going to prove that Aussies are the toughest people in the world. Now, the first part of this still is a little not safe for work. The second part of this, I think you're going to love it, Jess. You're going to love the second part of this palate cleanser. So here we go. The first part goes like this. An Australian dock worker is reinstated after telling coworkers that he put his penis in a sandwich.
What?
I know. It's
So weird.
a little bit of a curveball here. I got to throw you a curveball for this first one.
Stuck his penis in a sandwich. Okay.
All right. An Australian dock worker has won his job back after he was fired for, among other things, telling a colleague he had put his penis in a Subway sandwich. 62-year-old Robert Smith was fired from his job at Cube Ports in Melbourne in January, where he had been working since 2009, a decision by the Australian Fair Work Commission said. His employer accused Smith of showing male coworkers bikini-clad photos of female colleagues, telling one he had spat and put his cock in his Subway sandwich, and calling a colleague a useless piece of shit and condescending cunt.
Oh, that's not how you eat fresh.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Chess. Smith took his former employer to the Australian Fair Work Commission, arguing unreasonable dismissal, with the commission ultimately ruling in his favor. Tell me that's not tough. I mean, here in America, the guy would have got dismissed. They would have been like,
oh, for sure.
Like, you are out of control, man. Right? Like, take a hike. You're not keeping that job. In Australia,
stick your weenie in people's sandwiches.
Right. In Australia, they're like, it's just a bit of cock in your sandwich. Eat it up, mate. It's a bit of schmegma.
Not in there now, is it?
No, it's
deal.
Right. He picked his cock out of your sandwich. Go ahead and eat it, mate. Right. That's a horrible Australian accent, by the way.
I thought it was pretty good.
Commissioner, he put his cock in your kebab. Commissioner Scott Conley said the termination was harsh, unjust, and unreasonable.
What?
That's tough right there. Those are some tough people. And they're like,
yeah,
it's just a cock in a sandwich.
No big deal.
Cube is to reinstate Mr. Robert Smith by reappointing him on or before September 26th of 2025 to the position which Mr. Smith was employed immediately before the dismissal. So saith that.
Wow. He has to hire him back.
Yeah.
The guy that sticks his weenie in sandwiches.
Not just stuck his weenie in the sandwich, Jess. There was like 3 things there.
Yeah. What did he called someone a...
He spat and put his cock in the sandwich. He called a colleague a useless piece of shit and a condescending cunt.
Okay.
And he was showing bikini-clad photos of his female colleagues.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that would get you fired right there. That's it. You can't do that.
In America, you're done.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're probably not going to find a job.
I could hang in Australia. I'm not tough enough.
Yeah. See? But they're like, it's just a cock in your sandwich.
Oh, I love that. Just, you need it on a t-shirt or a coffee mug.
You ordered the double meat. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the extra mayo. It's
And
good.
the extra mayo, right?
Eat it.
That's extra mayo. That's a horrible horrible Australian accent. I've never been able to do one. People are like, "Oh, that's terrible, Tim. It's terrible."
Why do I love it? I think it's great. I'm just easily pleased.
And now you said it, I didn't. And now you want the uplifting story now? I gave you.
Yes, where's the good part?
Okay, here's the good part. I gave you the one that's like, holy shit, that's a tough country. tough country to get justice. Now, here's the uplifting tough part of Australia. This is the one we can admire, the admirable part of Australia. The headline is, he can buy us a beer. Truck drivers rescue a man from a burning car.
Oh,
You ready for this?
yeah.
A hero truck driver has told of the moment he and a workmate waded into Adelaide's Dry Creek wetlands to save a crash victim from his burning car. The 25-year-old victim is recovering in a hospital after being rescued. The incident occurred after the man's Toyota left Salisbury Highway and traveled approximately 50 meters into the wetlands, with the impact igniting a fire. Prior to emergency services arrival, 2 truck drivers, John and Riley, had entered into the water to assist the driver. Notice the bloke, I'm not going to do the accent, by the way. Notice the bloke, he was sort of half out of the car, so we just sort of jumped through the water and grabbed him out, John said. John then discovered the victim was not breathing and began resuscitating him as Riley flagged down arriving paramedics. I didn't find out until a few hours later whether he actually made it or not. So that was a big thing for us. We just wanted to make sure he pulled through, John said. The humble hero says helping people is just what you do and would be happy with a simple thank you. He can buy us a beer or something, John said. Yeah, I'll take a beer.
I love that.
There you go.
That's all they need. Just a beer.
Just a beer. That's all I need. At the
We
most.
just help each other.
Yeah, at the most. At the most. They were just wanting to make sure the guy made it.
See, and that's a guy who would never put his cock in your sandwich.
Or call you a cunt, right?
We may be from the same country, but they are different people.
That's
let me
right.
tell ya.
They're cut from a different cloth. That's for sure. Oh, I snorted. You ordered the double, mate. Oh, boy. All right. Well, you tell people you got a gig coming up on Friday.
I got a party and you're all invited. If you live in the area, you're in the St. Paul, Minneapolis area. It's over in St. Louis Park from 6 to 9 at Canvas Convergence. But please RSVP on the Facebook link so that I know you're coming. So I have enough drinks and treats for everyone.
Bring the double, mate.
No, you can leave your double meat at home.
Tomorrow on the big program, Supernatural News with Mally Fox. Thursday, it's a surprise. I'll put it that way.
I love a surprise.
Yeah, it's a big surprise on Thursday. That'll do it for today, though. Yeah.
It's a good show.
Yeah, very good show today. Oh, by the way, right here.
Your twin.
We're twinning. Alan Warren's book, Peace, Love, and Murder, the Charles Manson Story, in the link in the description of this program. Go get it. Excellent book. Decade and a half in the making. It is a passion project for Alan. Excellent book. Excellent book. I encourage you to go get it. Also, there's the companion piece, which is right here as well. It is Charles Manson, The Interviews, Volume 8 from the House of Mystery series. That is in the link in the descriptions of this program as well. So you've got the 2 books right here. If I can get them on camera, there they are. Woo! But both books, you're going to want to pick up both books. They are excellent. And it is together the complete compendium for all things Manson. So Alan's knocked himself out. He's done an excellent job on both these books. So I encourage you to get both of them. They are something else. They really are something else, and excellent details and new details that you may not have heard of about the Manson case. So you would think there was nothing left to uncover as far as the Manson story, but all kinds of interesting details about the Manson story. All right, that'll do it for today. Like I said, Mally Fox and Supernatural News tomorrow. And I want to remind you folks, also in the description of this program, Halloween is coming quickly, just a few weeks. You still have time to get in on Mysterious Adventures tours, either to go with Dacre Stoker to Romania or to go with Brian J. Cano to Ireland in the Puka Festival. Check those links out. You can make those payments over time. Maria will break those up into payments for you. I encourage you to check both those trips out. Once-in-a-lifetime trips. Check those out as well. All right, that'll do it for Jessica Freeberg. I'm Tim Dennis. We'll see you tomorrow. Supernatural News and Mally Fox, right here on the best in true crime podcasting. You've been watching and listening to True Crime Tuesday.